Bet Online is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, Bet Online provides you with all the action and the ability to watch the games as they happen. With the largest selection of odds on everything from football, NBA, and college basketball, NHL to UFC and MMA. Head to Bet Online today to get in on all the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. Bet Online, the game starts here.
Who that say they gon' beat them say? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gon' beat them say? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gon' beat them say? Who that? Who?
Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Fucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees on Roger Goodell. Yeah, money like this and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this and I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
I will start with Derek Carr, the Saints quarterback. Another frustrating injury for Derek Carr for a Saints team that is still fighting despite having Darren Rizzi, the interim coach. Fear is it is a fractured left hand for Derek Carr, according to me and colleague Tom Pelissero. Now, if this is confirmed by tests, he's going to have more today, although generally with a fracture, you really do know as soon as it happened that it would likely take the starting quarterback off the field for the rest of the season. When he was injured last time, Jake Haener ended up coming in over Spencer Rattlers. We'll see what the New Orleans Saints end up doing. Meanwhile, let's go to Derek Carr's former team, the Las Vegas Raiders. Another quarterback injury for them as well, with Gardner Minshew already.
All right, shout out to the fam, man. Thank y'all for being on the live, man. Welcome. Now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports fam. Shout out to you guys. Appreciate y'all being in the live. Yes, indeed. This is Victory Monday, man. Shout out to you guys. So you got the win. Hey, man, it wasn't. Let me tell you something. It wasn't exactly a beautiful win. It was an ugly win, and it was almost a boring game. But, you know, I ain't gonna lie. We had fun yesterday, man. That was a very weird game. A lot of mistakes. They had reports coming out that the referees, they were saying that the play in which they seen Brian Brissy jump over the offensive lineman, that should have been called a penalty. And listen, man, a lot of weird stuff happened in that game. A lot of weird stuff was happening in that game. One of the key weirdest things that happened in the game, fam, was the interception by Demario Davis. You know, y'all remember yesterday when they did the pressers at the end of the game, they seen Demario walk up, they just cut the broadcast off, and then they put out several clips. And Demario, everybody had like 6 minutes. Demario had 3 minutes. Like, they cut his clip. And I'm pretty sure one of them guys asked him, hey, man, what you thought about that interception you got? Why you think the referees downed it? Yeah, it didn't make any sense. It was one of the most clearly obvious, bad, officiated, corrupt games that I've seen in a while. And I've seen quite a few of them. But that I looked around, did a little research on it. Maybe y'all can educate me. because I was looking to find out anything on what happened with that. There is absolutely nothing on why Demario Davis interception of the quarterback Drew Lock. He wasn't touchdown. This is not college. When he caught the interception, he went to the ground. You're supposed to be touched down by the defender. This is not college. Just because you made the interception and hit the ground, you're not down on that spot. He got up and ran all the way to the end zone. It should have been a touchdown. The referee brought him back and said, no, you're down. And no, it didn't. I didn't see Darren Rizzi blow up in the referee's face about that obvious bad call there. I don't understand what happened there. That was totally corrupt and trash. Totally trash. That was an awful officiated game. But in the end, that's why I called yesterday's recap stream Escape from New York, because that's exactly what happened. The Saints basically escaped from New York with a victory that I believe that they wasn't supposed to get. The way things was happening in that game yesterday, I think they were trying to make the Saints lose, but the Giants was too inept to follow through with it. That's what I think was happening, because that didn't make any sense. They gave them people a touchdown. The guy didn't even get in the touchdown. They came back and said touchdown. Like, hold on, wait, what? The 2 seconds at the end of the third quarter, they just went, whatever, let's just go into the next quarter. Like, what? You're supposed to, that these people are making it up as they go. But see, I don't play alone. I don't read the script. I don't go through the narrative. I see what it is and I calls it out. Because I can't understand. Maybe y'all can enlighten me on that. What was your estimation of what happened with that Demario interception? I don't get that. That would have blew the game open 21-11. Why did they stop Demario Davis? He was not touched. Nobody was within 4 yards of Demario. He went and he got the interception. You can't say, well, he called it wasn't an interception, because he had an interception on the stat sheet. So it was an official pick. So y'all try to enlighten me, make me understand that, because I don't get that one. Shout out to Michael. Said, do you think Carr is out for the season? I do think Carr is done for the season. Now, it is his off throwing hand, but it's still a fracture. That means even though it might, if they shoot it up or whatnot, it's still fractured. They could put it in a cast or whatever, and he could still try to throw. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it if I was the Saints. I wouldn't do it, because he could still take a hit to that arm. He could still take a hit to that arm, and you shouldn't do it. You shouldn't do it. This is where you have other quarterbacks that you have to rely on. And, like I said, man, it's a part of the game. Quarterbacks get hurt. It's just unfortunate that Derek Carr was trying to make a play, man. He was trying to get the first down, and he took a hell of a tumble. That's for certain. That was a hardcore tumble a man took, man, yesterday, man. That was a hardcore tumble, wasn't it, fam? I was saying, man, I was trying to say like, damn, man, it was a hardcore tumble. And I was saying, I was looking up sound effects, and I want y'all to hear this sound effect and tell me if this is what you heard when you seen Derek Carr hit that damn ground like that after jumping over that man's head. I don't know what he was trying to do. I knew he was trying to make a play, but he dived over his own player's head. That wasn't a good thing to do. But listen to the side effect. Y'all tell me if this is what y'all heard. Let me see. Hold on here. Let's see if I can pull this up. I'm thinking about adding this to my soundboard, matter of fact. Hold on here. Hey, listen, man, we got love for Derek Carr, man, but that was I like the man. I like what he tried to do, man. He had heart on that. He tried to make the play, and he got hurt, man. So unfortunate, man, but we got to keep it pushing and moving one way or the other. All right, but thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Fuck too kind.
Oh, man. Big ups to y'all, man. Appreciate y'all for being in the stream, man. Much love, man. Appreciate y'all. Jonathan, good to see you, man. Yeah, he gave himself up, Jonathan. You're right. Absolutely. He gave himself up. What's up, Pops TG? Shout out to you, Pete. Good to see you, OG Jerry. Much love. What's up, Desi? Big ups to you, brother JT in this thing. All right. What's up, Kathleen? Big ups to you. Much love to my queens out there. All right, Rico. What's up, brother? How you doing, sir? Appreciate you. What's up, brother James? How you doing, my brother? All right. Pete says, Q, you see that it never discussed even on the, I know that's, bro, listen, I watch all that, man. And it's like I told you, when something's funny, it's like a glitch in the matrix. It's like, say, for instance, you was watching a sci-fi movie, right? And it's one of these Jason Bourne type movies, right? Let's say the bad guy, right? Was contracted to go and take care of some business against a very important person, right? Let's say the guy got on a bus, right? He went from one city to another city with a bunch of tall buildings, right? Let's say some kind of way he acquired information on where his target was, where he can be neutralized, and he found where the building was, hid outside at a certain period of time, was astute enough to be able to know that there was no law enforcement officers out there, right? No security, right? And this important VP was roaming around despite the threats on his life. Some kind of way, this guy in this movie, right, hits him 3 times, right? It jumps on the electric bike, goes all down the city, right? Into the park, discards his bag, right? Then he gets through the park. Now, granted, he never been there before, according to what the movie tells you. Goes on out, gets on the bus, right? And goes to a whole nother city and then did all that and got through all of that. And then somebody at Popeyes catches him. That's the end of the movie, right? Let's just say that kind of stuff. But when stuff like that happens, it's like a glitch in the matrix, right? Right? So anyway, that's what I'm saying, man. I'm saying like that was a glitch in the matrix you seen yesterday, right? That when that Demario Davis interception happened, he was not touched. He did not drop it. It counted as an interception. He gets up, returns it all the way to the touchdown. And they said, no, you were down here. You're like, how? The camera sped past it. The damn coach who's very noisy and likes to spit and spew at his own players and bitch and complain at his rookie punter, but had no smoke or no fire or energy for the referee after taking a touchdown off the board. An interception which nobody touched him. What is going on here? Maybe later on in the show, we need to ask Rizzy about that and see if he can stop sniffing for a moment and tell us what he thought happened. Anyway, big ups to y'all, man. Yeah, they would. Yeah. Please help me on that. Help me understand what happened with that Demario Davis touchdown takeaway. Tell me what happened. I don't know. Brother James, what's up, sir? Says Q. He says, your thoughts on the team trading for Malik Hooker. No, not Malik Hooker. You talking about from the Lions. Damn, what's the brother name? Not Malik. Malik is the safety. I know who you're talking about, the backup quarterback the Lions have, and still keeping all of our picks, bringing in youth and talent that learn behind golf is valuable. It's kind of weird how that's going in reverse, right? Detroit pilfered a lot of our coaching staff. Then the Lions then pilfered people like Alex Anzalone, who was a shell of himself when he left here and then rediscovered himself. Even AJ Klein had a bit of extension after he went to Buffalo Bills from the Saints. So the Detroit Lions pick up several players from the Saints, and coaches from the Saints revitalized the organization, and now they're the belle of the ball. Kind of weird how that energy shifted, isn't it? Oh man, but yeah, I like Hooker. I think Hooker is a terrific quarterback. I just don't think the Saints have the imagination to go and get him, my brother. I think he's a solid young quarterback. When it was drafting a guy, I think he's going to be a star for him. When Golf was out of there, remember Hooker got in there and he looked really good. That's a solid quarterback. But again, I don't think they go for it. I wouldn't be opposed to it because at some point, I don't think the Saints will have the money to be able to go after an expensive veteran. So these type of quarterbacks would be your option. You see what I'm saying? Life, man, isn't it grand? Thank you, James. Big ups to you, Mr. O. All right. Yeah, JT says, Q, I'm telling you the truth. I never seen Derek Carr run for a first down or even leave his feet phony. Now, I don't see people, and I get what you're saying. A lot of people don't like Derek Carr. I think Carr was trying to make a play. And he was leading up to this because remember, he would make, he would say things, he would be have certain innuendos he would make about Taysom Hill always getting the ball. Like he would come out of the game and Taysom would get the ball and then Taysom would do his Fred Flintstone thing, right? But Carr put one in the chat if y'all remember that. Carr would make statements like, yeah, such and such, I can run too. He said that. So I don't think this is not something that he capitulated in his mind that he can do. I don't think when he left his feet that he felt like he was going to, end up hitting the ground like an airplane with no wheels. I don't think he realized that, right? What I think he knew is he was just trying to make a play. When he left his feet, he was just trying to make a play. He just had a horrible landing. And when he hit that ground face first, I was like, yep, that's going to be difficult. What's up, Clint? Shout out to you. Who that daddy? Brian Lane. What's up, Brian? Big ups to you. Much love, fam. Josh, Jasher. What's happening, fam? He says, protect Spencer Rattler, star Jake Haener. All right. I got you, brother. Appreciate you. But yeah, man, this is very interesting, man, to be honest with you about the whole Derek Carr situation, man. And we'll see exactly how it all ends, man. But me personally, if I wouldn't play him, if he has a fractured wrist and he also is dealing with a concussion, so I don't think he clears concussion protocol this week for the Commanders. So next week he'll have a week to get on. But if the man has a fractured wrist, I wouldn't play him because he could take a hit. He could take a hit on that fractured wrist. I wouldn't play him. I know it's on his off and on his off arm or hand, whatever, but I wouldn't play him. The Saints gonna have to figure out a way to win another way, man. You get me? All right, yeah. I hear you, Pops TG. That's right, fam. This ain't on cue, bro. What you talking about? Nah, bro, that was a movie. What you saying, brother? That was a movie. That was a movie I just told y'all about. Okay. Now, if it imitates life a little bit, then, most movies do, don't they? In the movie, it's a Popeyes. He gets caught eating Popeyes chicken. All right. Come on. Yeah. He's crafty enough to do all that other stuff I told you, maneuver around a big city with cameras every which way, find a scooter, get to a park where he's supposedly never been there. And then also in the movie too, it's really weird though. In the same movie, the authorities in the movie rule out any connection to anybody else before the investigation's done. In the movie. Isn't that odd? It's very unique, isn't it? It's very, very interesting how things go on in this magical movie world, right? All right. All right. Willie says, I would say that Haener, but he always looks like a deer in headlights. Yeah. And by the way, man, thank you for reminding me on that. If y'all look in the chat, man, there is a poll question up for you guys. I want you to feel free to vote on that poll in the chat. The question is, who should start at QB if Carr is ruled out? Right? Because I'm going to play Rizzy, and Rizzy didn't rule him out. He hadn't made a decision on that. And that is how you do it, because you don't want to tip your hat too early against your rival, not your rival, but your opponent coming up this week, which is Jaden Daniels and the Commanders. But right now, the question is, who should start? Is it Jake Haener or Spencer Rattler? Well, out of the 40 plus people that's voted thus far, 75% of the people are saying Spencer Rattler should start, and 25% has Jake Haener there. Y'all vote. Let me know how y'all feel. All right, fam. So anyway, let's hit some of this stuff, man, because you heard us bringing the broadcast in, and Palacero was talking about this. Ian Rappaport was making mention of it, that the fact that this is something that is could be catastrophic for Carr here. So let's kind of delve into this article by Cat Terrell about Derek Carr's injury. Saints QB Derek Carr is considered week to week after injuring his 9-throwing hand and sustaining a concussion Sunday. Interim coach Darren Rizzi said Monday, we'll play some of this interview as it stands at this moment. I don't believe it's going to be an IR situation. We're going to kind of take this day by day this week. He's in the concussion protocol. Also, he has to complete the first step of that tomorrow. So it is a double aspect in terms of the injury. Now, Rizzi said that, quote, the left wrist injury was feared to be a fracture after initial testing Sunday. Does not look as if it would require surgery, although Carr will get a second opinion. Rizzi declined to confirm if it was a fracture, right? If it was surgical, we'd be having a different conversation, which is why this is going to remain a day-to-day, week-to-week type of thing. But it has been done before, so that's why we're going to discuss the options and see where we're at. Rizzi said Carr was sore Monday, and the team will monitor the swelling on his hand this week. The team had not decided who would start if Carr was ruled out versus the Commanders, but Rizzi said he would meet with the offensive staff to make the decision if needed. He said whomever gets the nod would get the majority of the snaps in practice this week. The Saints started rookie quarterback Spencer Rattler for 3 games when Carr was out because of an oblique injury early this year, but that was a decision made by then Coach Possum, who was fired early in the season. We're going to have to make a decision on that sooner than later. The rep count is going to be important, Rizzi said. Rizzi said he felt both Rattler and Haener have performed well when called on this season, but again, reiterated that he wasn't ruling out Carr, even if he wasn't able to practice during the week. We're going to have to figure what guy is going to give us the best chance to win. Rizzi said, I feel strongly both ways, but I really do like both guys give us a chance. So this is just coach speak, but it's a very smart strategy for a coach to use to not to tip his hand to his opponent for this upcoming week, which is the Washington Commanders, as we said before. So this would be an interesting type of situation with Coach Rizzi. And also, man, in his interview today, if y'all heard it, for those who've heard it versus who's not, we will listen to it over again. But I really like the line of questioning by Mike Triplett. Let me give Mike Triplett a round of applause, man. Mike Triplett listens to the Who Dat Nation. Shout out to Mike Triplett and Nick Underhill, man. Both of those guys, I would grade them as our best insiders. Not only just that, but these guys are not hoity-toity types, you know. These are people, these are men of the people. And I'm saying that because they ask the questions that we want to know. And I liked his line of questioning to Darren Rizzi. And I'm going to play it in a little bit. I'm going to go through some of these articles, but I love his line of questioning. He didn't relent. He started with one and then had another one there and kind of held it to him. And then Rizzi got displaining. Rizzi started to get displaining. And then I'm going to kind of tip into that when we go over there. Well, we got to finish up what we got to do. And, we got to, he started to get displaining and sniffing and shit. So I like, okay, Mike Triplett, I like what you got going on there, my brother. That was good. That was some good questioning right there. But he kind of got him tap dancing a little bit. He kind of got like in old Wild Western movies, he started doing this and shooting, the evil cowboy shoots at the other guy, the store owner's feet to make him dance. He started to kind of shoot at his feet a little bit with the question. And Rizzi got the tap dancing, man. He kind of started sniffing all fast and shit and tap dancing. All right, but man, let's keep it going, man, on this. But yeah, we got to look at the Carr situation and basically the options for both these guys, man, to be quite honest with you, as we move forward. It's going to be either one of these gentlemen, man. We're going to, like we said, we got Spencer Rattler, and these are his numbers. These are Spencer Rattler's numbers right now through the season 2024, 571 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks, and a QBR of 33.9. It's not really good or great numbers right here, but after all, this is a rookie quarterback. And pretty much what it boils down to, fam, is you see this, like, right, and that's why Coach Possum got a lot of stuff going on. A lot of Who Dat Nation got behind Spencer Rattler. They like Spencer Rattler. So a lot of people it's like, yeah, man, we got a quarterback. We like this kid. You know, he got a lot of talent. So a lot of the Who Dat Nation rolled with Spencer Rattler. They just attached themselves to him. No disrespect to Jake Haener. It's just that's how it goes sometimes. You like who you like, you know, you get that? And the Who Dat Nation attached itself to Spencer Rattler, and they wanted to see him go out there and see what he can do. And Spencer Rattler went out there and he had some games where things just didn't work well for him, and it was a struggle. A lot of stuff was going on, and you expect the rookie to struggle. So they had some positive stuff going on. They had some negative stuff going on. It was kind of a mix. But in the end, a lot of people know during the training camp and the preseason that Spencer Rattler won the job, and it wasn't close. But he didn't get the starting nod, not starting nod, but the backup nod behind Derek Carr when the season started. He ended up being, and it was a whole bunch of political games behind it. And I pinpointed it all this before it happened, told you it was going to happen, and it played out just like that wonderful movie I just told you all about, right? It played out the same way. It played out where Rattler ended up being the emergency quarterback because what they were attempting to do, Dennis Allen, Coach Possum, was attempting to do is not allow any pressure to happen for Derek Carr. They was trying to keep the pressure away. That's why they made him the third quarterback and put Jake Haener there, because ain't nobody running for Jake Haener. They just used him as a buffer, which is disrespectful. It is, and that's what made me really go in on him, because you're not supposed to do that as a coach. If the guy wins the job, he wins the job. He's the second stringer. And if the first guy don't like it, who's making all this money, then he needs to step his game up. But there is no way in shape or form as a coach that I'm trying to protect you from my players on it. If they got a guy right there and he's pressing you, well, too damn bad. And it's the only guy I really seen that happen to in the NFL that's of substance was Tom Brady. Tom Brady is in a different situation because Tom Brady was an established, you know, when he was with the Patriots toward the back end of his career, he was an established, already a walk-in Hall of Fame. He could have stopped playing them. He was going into the Hall. He told Belichick that he did not want Jimmy Garoppolo there because they seen Garoppolo as the heir apparent to Tom Brady, and Garoppolo was balling. And Bill Belichick didn't want to do it, but he had to make a decision to make Tom Brady happy. So he shipped Jimmy Garoppolo out of there. Tom Brady did not want any competition, and Jimmy Garoppolo was putting some pressure on him. He was out there playing, and he shipped him on. That's how it went. This is totally not the situation, but when you got an off-code coach that was operating, doing stuff like that, he throws his team under the bus, apologize. It's just a dummy. They got him up out of here, and I'm glad. But they kept Spencer as the emergency quarterback. As long as Derek Carr is healthy, no harm, no foul. But the moment Carr gets hurt, thus then Spencer Rattler then flip back to starter. If that's the case, then why is he the emergency quarterback? Unless it fortifies what I was saying just a moment ago. And it is. So we'll be watching to see. And matter of fact, that's why I was giving shots out to Mike Triplett, because his line of questioning was leading into that. He knew what I was talking about. Because I was saying it, then I was like, explain this thought process. He won in preseason. Why is he the emergency quarterback? When Carr's healthy, but when Carr's hurt, it's Rattler. Explain that. That's what Triplett was trying to get him to do, and he started tap dancing his ass off. I'm gonna play the interview. But anyway, what should it be? A lot of people believe it's Spencer, but when Carr goes down, it usually is Spencer Rattler. Well, they didn't say, well, they keep Jake Haener there. We'll see. But these are the numbers right here, like we're saying so far in the season: 571, 1 touchdown, 2 picks, a QBR of 33.9, and this is Haener's numbers right here: 177 yards, 1 touchdown, no picks, and he has a QBR of 42.4 for Jake Haener right now. So this is his numbers on the season, and it's basically, if Carr can't go, it's between these two guys to take the helm. So I'm a vote, and like I said, I'm a vote, but I'm thinking my vote is going to go for. My vote's going to where it's been. It's going to go to Spencer Rattler, because this is the theme. When Derek Carr gets hurt and he can't play, to go to Rattler, not Haener. When they have an opportunity, they're going to go to him, and it's just what it is, right? That's how we see it. All right. Anyway, before we get to that interview, let's hit up some more news, fam. Let's keep it going here. Let's take a look at this, man. Here's an interview right here. I mean, not an interview, sorry. Saints add a little bit of news right here's the black and gold add to their situation. Their black and gold add defensive back. Saints add Tra Fluellen to the defensive backfield. Shout out to Bob Rose, man. He is wrote a really good article kind of breaking that down. The Saints pick up a DB. Saints add a college talent to bolster defensive backfield, according to the agent. And a little information on this guy. Saints have reportedly signed safety Tra Fluellen on Monday. Fluen's representatives at Tri Sports Agency initially announced the transaction on social media. It remains unclear whether Fluellen has been signed to the Saints active roster or the practice squad. A rookie out of Middle Tennessee, Fluellen was not selected in this past spring's NFL draft. He was drafted in the second round of the United Football League, the UFL college draft in June by the Houston Roughnecks. So they picked up this safety right here. He started his collegiate career at Houston Baptist, where he played in 2019 and 2020. He transferred to Middle Tennessee State in 21, where he played out the last 3 years and 3 years with the Blue Raiders. Fluellen intercepted 5 passes and broke up 12 others while recording a sack and 8 tackles for a loss among a total of 197 stops. Pre-draft scouting report on Fluellen, per brother Kyle Mosley, says Fluellen has an impressive collegiate football career as a safety, showcasing his talent and versatility across multiple programs. Here's his resume here: college career with Houston Baptist. Fluellen began his college career at Houston Baptist, where he made an immediate impact, earned Hero Sports Freshman All-American First Team honors, finalist for the Jerry Rice Award, which is the top FCS freshman, tied for 7th in the Southland Conference with 101 tackles, recorded 2 interceptions, 3 fumbles, and a forced fumble. Played 4 games in 2020 before transferring to Middle Tennessee State 21 and 23. Transferred there where he continued to excel in 21, played in all 13 games with 1 start, recorded 29 tackles and 1 sack. In 2022, he started all 13 games, led the team with 104 total tackles. He added 4 tackles for a loss, 2 picks, and 8 pass breakups. Named honorable mention in All-Conference USA. And then in the 2023 season, he played 684 total snaps, recorded 64 tackles, which was 3rd on his team, led the team with 3 interceptions, added 2.5 tackles for a loss and 3 pass breakups, voted permanent team captain by teammates, named to the Bronco Nagurski watch list and the Paycom Jim Thorpe Award watch list. Season cut due to an ACL injury. Notable achievements and recognitions: 2-time honorable mention All-Conference USA 22 and 23. Finished his college career with 323 total tackles, 197 at MTSU. Known for his leadership skills, high character, and intelligence on the field. He's 6'2", 210 pounds, possesses the size and skills desired for a professional defensive back, demonstrates strong ability to read and process plays, exhibits excellent ball skills and run defense support. Tra Fluellen's college career has been marked by consistent improvement and standout performance, making him a promising prospect for professional football despite his recent injury setback. Shout out to Bob for getting us on game about Mr. Tra Fluellen. This is a 6'2", 200-pound plus defensive back that the Saints have added to the team. And here it is right here, fam. This is let me see if I can get you to see his signing. Here's that's him signing in the corner, his contract with the Saints. And like you said, you have to determine what role Tra Fluellen it is. But if I had to guess, more than likely it'll probably be probably practice squad, something like that. But I'm gonna check the roster after a while. All right. Anyway, let's keep it going to this news article right here. Oklahoma State names Todd Grantham following Oklahoma State names Todd Grantham the defensive coordinator following his NFL stint. Remember, Todd Grantham was brought here by Dennis Allen. He got his ass, or he got kicked to the, I ain't gonna say he got kicked to the curb. He got demoted by Darren Rizzi. Veteran coach Todd Grantham is returning to college football to be Mike Gundy's defensive coordinator at Oklahoma State. Grantham has had previous defensive coordinator stints in college and in the NFL. He also worked with Nick Saban at 2 different stops. Grantham spent the past 2 seasons in the NFL with the Saints. How would you guys grade Todd Grantham's stay with the New Orleans Saints since he's been here? Grades are A through F. What would you give Todd Grantham? Y'all put it in the chat. Let me know what the grades are to you in terms of what Todd Grantham, how did he do in your opinion at the defensive line position, right? Y'all let me know. Give me a grade. All right. So anyway, he says he came in as Dennis Allen's defensive line coach, but was moved to senior advisor role early this year after Allen was fired, a senior advisor. Darren Rizzi took over as interim coach. Rizzi said Grantham's last day with the Saints will be Tuesday, and he will go then join Gundy in Stillwater. He's done a heck of a job here behind the scenes with the defensive staff, Rizzi told reporters, but it's certainly a great opportunity for him. He made the decision. He wanted to get back into the college game. I think Mike Gundy's getting a great coach. Yeah, he's so great. Why did you demote him? Grantham, who's 58, was a senior defensive analyst at Alabama in 2020. So I ain't going to go through all his accolades, but the guy was with Alabama, Ole Miss, Michigan State, Florida, Mississippi State, just a retread, man. Louisville, Georgia. He went to the Cleveland Browns, Virginia Tech, all over the damn place. This dude been all over the place. So now he's going to Oklahoma State to join up there with the Cowboys. So there you go. But anyway, he says Grantham will be challenged to rebuild a defense that hit rock bottom this season. The Cowboys ranked 3-9, went 3-9 and ranked 126 nationally in scoring. He got his hands full there. So Todd Grantham is Kaputski. He's out of here. All right, Clint gives him a C. L-Dub says a D. JT says a F. Roderick says F. Jack says incomplete. That's accurate. That is very accurate. Incomplete grade. Yes, indeed. Yes, Jack, very wise. And Wallace, Brother Wallace, shout out to Brother Wallace, gave him a F. Me, I have to give him a low grade too. Anytime you get demoted, then you're not a great coach. And you see what Rizzi was being just kind, like, yeah, they're getting a hell of a coach. He's so great. Why you demoted? Well, you see, a little communication and, sure, but it don't hurt him to say nothing because the guy's gone, right? He's out of his hair. All right. Yeah, it's crazy, man, at the end of the day. But anyway, let's hear it is, man. Let me get to Rizzi, man. Let's hear from Coach Rizzi. This was what he said today about what was going on with Derek Carr. Let's kind of listen to this interview right here, man. I think a lot of this, like I said, I like the line of questioning in this game, and then y'all throw y'all questions in the comment section. We're going to go over it. I see a Giant says a D. Willie says F. F plus says Reggie. Reggie gave him an F plus. Okay, how you give somebody an F plus, bro? How is a F plus? A F plus will put you close to D minus, right? Is that how I go? The only worse than that is a F minus, right? You at the bottom of the scale. You got an F and an F minus. No, I think an F minus is incomplete is worse than all. He didn't do enough to even be graded. I think the incomplete is the worst. But anyway, is Darren Rizzi, man.
All right.
What can you share on Derek Carr's outlook?
I've already seen some reports out there, a little bit false. So right now, obviously, like I said yesterday, Derek's dealing with a non-throwing hand injury. As it stands at this moment, I don't believe it's going to be an IR situation. I think it's going to be a week-to-week situation. So we're going to kind of take this day by day this week. We'll see how this week plays out. But that's really where we are right now. So it's a non-throwing hand. He is in the concussion protocol also, so he's got to complete the first step of that tomorrow. So it is a double aspect in terms of the injury. You're dealing with both. So we got to obviously, see what happens there. But this will be a day-to-day right now this week. And really, I think it's going to end up being the way it looks, it'll end up being a week-to-week situation with him.
A couple thoughts.
Yeah.
In the concussion protocol means he was diagnosed with a concussion.
He was. So regardless of the hand, and I think that's maybe where I know there was initially there was some question. He went down. I think they were initially more concerned about his concussion at the or the head injury aspect of it in the beginning, and then kind of went to the hand injury as a secondary thing.
And then, regardless of what the prognosis is with his hand and what they have to do to fix it, can a quarterback play with this? Pete Werner played with the club.
Yeah.
Alvin Kamara played with the broken hand. Like, what needs to be satisfied for you to consider playing a quarterback with a broken nose?
Yeah, well, it's a good news, bad news situation, right? The good news is it's not his throwing hand. The bad news is we're obviously dealing with an injury here that's that we have to kind of play it by ear with. And I'll say this: it's been done before. I don't know if it was Justin Herbert off the top of my head or Josh Allen or whoever it was has had these injuries before with this non-throwing hand. It appears at the moment that it's non-surgical, which is a big aspect of it. If it was surgical, we'd be talking about having a different conversation, which is why this is going to remain day-to-day, week-to-week type of thing. And so, but it has been done before. I think you guys have seen before where guys have played with whatever that thing is called. I don't even want to, where your wrist and all that stuff. So that's why we're going to kind of discuss the options and see where we're at. So, like I said, we're also dealing with the concussion aspect of it. So we have to make sure he's cleared there from that aspect, and then we'll take one step at a time. If he clears a concussion, then we'll see if he's going to be able to function. And listen, it might be, like I said, literally a week-to-week thing here as we go. We'll get more functionality back and see where we're at. So he's obviously sore today. It's the day after the injury. So when I say day-to-day, we'll see how he follows up with the everything, swelling, all that kind of stuff. We'll see where he's at moving forward.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting, man, because I think Rizzi, they're waiting for more reports here. They said that he was going after to get a second opinion on what's going on with the injury. And the concussion is one thing. And then, of course, it was just the way he landed. It was just not it's a hardy move. I got to give him credit for trying to make a play. But to lunge yourself over the top of your receiver, and they just cleared out. And he just went down, crashing down to the ground. It's like, the receiver is the wide receiver, which was Kevin Austin Jr., and the defensive back where Kevin Austin was blocking the DB or the player out toward the sideline in some kind of way. Derek Carr, who had a pair of wheels, give him credit, he was able to get away from Brian Burns, because Brian Burns was chasing him down. That's why he scooted out of the pocket toward the right side of the field. He ran away from Brian Burns, and Brian Burns is an athlete. And he tucked the ball down, tucked the ball in, and he ran away from Brian Burns. I was like, okay. And then as he was turning, he was seeing that marker, and he tried to dive toward the marker, and it just, he would have been all right had he not tried to leap over Kevin Austin Jr. and that defender. Because if he would have leaped, like it could have happened a number of ways, right? He could have leaped on him, and then they both would have kind of carried him down to the ground, and he would have been all right, but it was how it worked. It's like he jumped, and then they they split apart like the Red Sea. And then here come all the Pharaoh's men, all the water. It just didn't end well. But yeah, a potential fracture. Remember, we talked about this on the show. We had, I pulled up the report, or the tweet from a orthopedic, I think the man's orthopedic doctor, who was looked at it and said, that looks like he basically nailed it. Looked like that's how fractures happen. The man basically called it. So, kudos to that doctor. He knew what the hell he was talking about,
I'm sorry. Yeah, I really don't want to get into that. There's been a lot of news out there about that. He's going to have a second opinion here, and we'll kind of see where. So I don't want to go into the exact details. As I get all that back and we can confirm that, we'll move forward with that. Just he's dealing with a left hand, left wrist type of thing.
Do you believe that he's out this week, though?
I don't believe that yet. So we're not going to rule him out just yet. I think we have to see how the next day or two, what the healing process is like, and see if he can function. But again, don't forget we're also dealing with the other aspect too. So.
How do you deal with practice this week then, with the uncertainty with him?
Yeah, so we're going to have to make a decision here today on probably if Derek doesn't go, kind of the direction we're going to go between Jake and Spencer. We'll meet this afternoon and we'll have a plan. I'm going to tell you that whoever that guy is going to get probably the majority of the reps here moving forward this week in the event that Derek doesn't play. We're going to have to make a decision on that sooner than later. As you know, we don't get a lot of practice days. So
listen, I'm going to just make my call right now, just like the family members here. A lot of people, 73% says Spencer Rattler's going to be the guy. I'm going with them. Why? Because they're backed up and fortified by history. Every time something happens to Derek Carr, and I'm not talking about in game, obviously, right? He was the emergency quarterback. Spencer Rattler isn't. Jake Haener was the backup. But if you have a chance to prepare for a game and the guy is out before, like we seen happen the last few times that Derek Carr was out, then they reach to Spencer Rattler. I'm going with history and the Who Dat Nation. That's picking Spencer Rattler. And I'm pretty sure the decision was made when he left and went and talked to whoever he needed to talk to. The decision is going to be Spencer, because I don't think Derek Carr, forget the wrist injury, I don't think he clears concussion protocol in enough time to play this game. That's just me, man. I don't think he clears, and he shouldn't clear. If there's a real concussion protocol type situation going on, he shouldn't clear. If they really care about the brains of these guys, you know. But anyway, let's go back here.
The rep count's going to be important. And so, I'll sit down with obviously with Clint and with Andrew Janocko and everybody. And the offensive staff will make a final decision on whether we're going to move forward here this week with Jake or Spencer, and we'll go from there.
We'll go into that decision, Dan.
You know what? Listen, I got to be honest. I actually feel, I'm not trying to play the fence sitter here. I actually think both guys give us a chance to win. I think, obviously, the last time Derek was out for an extended period of time, we decided to go with Spencer. I think Jake and both guys, have performed well right since the training camp. And so, I thought in that last go-around, we felt like Spencer gave us the best chance to start. And so, that's where we're going to kind of list all the pros and cons, who we playing, what defense, what's the game plan, here are the weapons. And so that's all the things we're going to discuss today. We'll have a decision by that probably tomorrow.
Were you involved in that earlier decision, or was that something that just DA?
Yeah, no, that was DA and the offensive staff last go around. So,
all right, here come Mike Triplett with the questions about the decision making dealing with Rattler being listed as an emergency quarterback. He knows it's just what we talked about earlier in the stream. Rizzy's response is this.
Compared to that situation, though, did you make a conscious choice to stick with Jake in that backup role, and was that you in some ways choosing?
Yeah, so listen, I think a big part of that the last go around was in all the discussions, and like I said, I wasn't the decision maker, but in hearing all the thoughts, Jake's been our number 2 in every game, and the games that Spencer hasn't been the starter, he was the emergency 3, and so we just felt like Jake gave us a better chance in that, just no different than yesterday, Jake coming in there at the end. And so, we have to figure out whether or not, again, which guy we feel like is going to give us the best. Like I said, I don't want to be the guy that, feels strongly both ways. But I really do feel like both guys in their own right can give us a chance.
What's the difference between choosing one person to be the backup on game day, but then maybe choosing someone else to start?
Yeah, I felt, the offensive coaches at that point, the last time Derek went down, felt like Spencer gave us the best chance in those particular games we were playing. Had a little bit to do, I think, with the teams we were playing, the defenses, all that kind of thing. And so, but Jake's gotten considerable reps here the last few weeks. So that's what we got to decide.
Press him, Mike.
You've been, since you've coached 4 games, you've chosen Jake as the backup. How is that not the same as saying he's the next guy up?
Come on now.
I do. Well, that's been the case the entire season. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's been the number 2 in every game. If I'm not mistaken, he's been the number 2 in every game we've played, whether Derek or Spencer was a starter.
You're talking about you, Rick.
Felt like, the offensive staff felt like that's the situation. I think this is a new ground, if you will. It's
we got him tap dancing.
The reset button here. It's a clean slate. We're going to go and make that decision. Again, I'm not ruling Derek out, and I'm not declaring a starter just yet. We're going to kind of put it all on the table and see, what we feel. But I think both guys, I go back there purposely with the squad offense every week, and Jake and Spencer both have really done a great job in practice. So I think both guys bring, a positive to the table.
That means that let me do all this because he did a lot of babbling. Now, notice Rizzy usually a straight shoot on stuff. He wasn't shooting straight that time. You seen all that babbling and backtrack and tap dancing? Because Mike Triplett was saying, hey, man, listen, were you a part of the process of making the call to make Jake Hayner the backup quarterback and Spencer the emergency quarterback. And then he said it was on Dennis Allen in so many words. Then Mike brung it to now. Well, now that you're the head coach, you know, are you cool with all the stuff like that? He was tap dancing, babbling. He was doing some tap dancing. See, the thing is this, and this is why I wanted to kind of pinpoint this, because this is the problem right here. This is problem number one for Rizzy that's going to bowl very wrong for him very fast. See, the problem is he came in, he did some wonderful things. He demoted Grantham. Now he's gone. You know, we just covered that story. Tuesday would be his last day. Oklahoma State taking him off our hands. They gave the job to Brian Young for the defensive line coach. He put Joe Woods over the top of the defense. We've seen an improvement from the defense, right? Defense has done a much better job over the last couple of games, right? We can agree on that. The special teams, he put Phil Galliano over the special teams, then brought in an old advisor or person that he knew to help out there as well. And the special teams, even though they had some issues and flubs and stuff going on right there, still a lot of silver linings there. But he didn't do nothing to the offense. See, the point of the question was to determine how involved is Rizzy with this offense. His decision-making over the defense and the special teams was obvious. But in terms of the offense, that's the problem. That's what that line of questioning is exposing. And he's talking about going and talk to the other offensive people to make a decision. See, he's indecisive. He don't know where to go to. You can hear him trying to not tip his hand insofar as trying to give one guy more credit than other guy, right? He's trying to do that. But this just shows that his involvement in terms of his offense. And that's the problem. The offense is the problem. The defense is playing better. The special teams is having the issues, but you know, they missed some field goals, this, that, and the third. But really, offensively speaking, some of those drives, some of those possessions, we were supposed to get some scores going on. The offense is up and down. It fluctuates. We had our 5 starting offensive linemen back. We had the MVS here, there in the third. And if the Saints need more pieces offensively speaking, and I kept saying this over the last several weeks when we had all these injuries hitting us, that we need to keep going out into free agency and see if we can find some more help. Whether we can go peel for some guys off the practice squad, whether we can, you see what I'm saying? We need more people. We need to be able to figure some stuff out. If you're not going to use Mason Tipton, send them on down to the practice squad or release them and bring somebody here to help us. We need some help here at the wide receiver position. We need some guys to stretch the field. We need some more guys to help out. We need another speed component because Pettis is there, but Pettis is kind of controlled in what he can do offensively speaking because he's dedicated to the return game. So we trying to figure we need some more help offensively speaking. You see what I'm saying? We need some more help there. He's not involved like that. He really isn't. He kind of still doing the similar thing to Dennis Allen, kind of leaving him on the island and letting him operate. And I think that's not a good decision. I think he needs to get over there, get his ass over there and start giving some of those play calling duties. If you don't to the run game coordinator, let him help out, kind of make him a unit. You see what I'm saying? Let Rick Dennison get involved in this play calling because this play calling is another thing. If we need some more help, and we definitely need some more help in the wide receiver room, let's go out there and see if we can find some guys to help us. They're just sitting back like we good with what we got. You're not good with what you got. You had no room to go over there and say, well, the defense needs help. We need to do this. The special teams did this, that, and the third. The offense is fine. No, the offense is not fine. No, it's not. The offense is struggling. The offense is struggling. We scored 14 points against the Giants, man. And, they were playing pretty good up front. But, hey, listen, not to take nothing away from the Giants, but the Saints couldn't even run the ball effectively. I mean, we had some tough running from Kendre Miller, but they locked in on Alvin Kamara and shut him down and put the game in Derek Carr's hand. And we were struggling to move the ball. So, in part, if their offense was even halfway incompetent, they'd have made it scary for the Saints. But I'm saying over the last couple of games, the offense is not where it's supposed to be. We need something else. We need some more ideas. We need something to rekindle the fire in our offensive lineman. We need something else. We need something else going over there. So for him to leave the offense alone without making any changes, that was a serious mistake. And then this line of questioning exposes that, in my opinion. about how are involved are you in this offense? Are you doing what Dennis Allen did and just go ahead and say do this and just leave him the hell alone? Or is that what's going on here? Boy, he was show tap dancing, and I listened to a lot of Rizzy. I ain't hear him tap dancing like that before. He was babbling and tap dancing on that one. Mike Triplett had his 6 shooters out, and he was doing, and Rizzy was doing, them feet was moving. Them damn feet was moving on that one.
Positives to the table.
When it comes to evaluating like how Spencer did the last time, do you kind of look at the offensive line he had, the things from coordinator and how
I mean, everything goes, right? The receivers, all right, the offensive line. Well, obviously, we've been dealing with injuries all year. So, it's going to be a total package on that type of deal. So, yeah, we're going to look at everything. We're going to look at all that. But
is it possible that the week starts with Jake and Spencer handling the reps because Derek's not ready? But later in the week, Derek could be cleared and could start without practicing significantly?
I think that's likely, actually. I think it's likely. Whoever we go with, decided between Jake and Spencer, I think we'll likely get the majority of the reps here early in the week. And a lot of that has to do with also the concussion protocol because you got to take the steps and there's only certain things you can do. And so I think that whoever that guy is will get a majority of the reps. So that'll be.
But Derek could conceivably start without practicing most of the week.
Conceivably. Yeah.
Now, just listen to what he just said. Could Derek start without practicing? And he said conceivably yes. So regardless if Derek Carr busted up or not, and I'm against playing these guys hurt, especially when with fractured bones and all that. I'm against that. Or like if you have especially at the quarterback position. So you're gonna put Derek Carr in there with a busted up hand without any practice? Boy, you asking for some serious shit to happen, man. Listen to what he just said. The reporters the reporters are smart, man. They're asking the question because they already know. I ain't gonna say they already know the answer, but they using, like I use history as an indicator, like it's a good predictor of past behaviors, right? Because history, what it does is it reveals your pattern. That's what it's about. That's why a lot of people say that saying, and it's very accurate. History is a good indicator of past behaviors. It really is. Because like I said, it exposes the patterns that people are composed of, because you are a big pattern. You go to work at a certain time, you get up, you go to get dressed, you go to work at a certain time, you do this at a certain time, you do that at your whole schedule is set up. They used to call it rituals, now it's routine. You got a routine. A pattern, a routine is a pattern. And all you have to do is be a person that's good at pattern recognition, and you could be able to figure most people out what they're going to do. And just like I talked to y'all about glitches in the matrix, when they glitch and when they break patterns, something's up. That's when you get on your guard. That's how I go. And that's game. I'm giving you game for all my peoples out there. Listen to what I'm saying and hear me well. This applies to everything in life. This universe is set up in patterns. With the seasons changing, how they go every year, the season changes and one is going to follow the next. The only difference is some are longer or shorter than others, depending on the year and how things going, but they're certainly going to be there. The pattern of nighttime to daytime, is going to happen. It's going to happen, right? But that is game. And I call it a glitch in the matrix because what's happening, people are going to follow that pattern because they don't even realize that they're doing it until you call it out. And then after a certain period of time, they're going to forget about it and go right to it. But that's how you become a different person. You got to break your old patterns and put in a new pattern so that you get the different result. So it's all about having routine. And this is the Saints routine. The Saints routine is to do what they've been doing. Derek Carr, I would not do that. I would not put Derek Carr in any football game if he has a fractured wrist and he didn't have any practice time. I am not putting Derek Carr in harm's way like that. I'm not. I'm gonna go with the guy that been practicing. I'm not going to do it. I'm sorry. He have no practice. You know what that means? Boy, you going to get that guy going to get tore up back there. No, I'm not doing that. I don't agree about that. But like I said, these ain't no answers, bro. These are not answers. This is not stuff that's going to bring any winning to the team. It won't happen, man.
What did you think when you watched tape of the game yesterday?
Listen, I'll tell you guys exactly what I told the team. Bottom line is, the good news is we left a road game, outdoor game, elements, all that stuff. We left with a win. It's certainly at times. I thought our defense played extremely well for 3.5 quarters. They had 98 yards with 10 minutes to go in the game, and then their last 3 drives they had 162 yards. So we didn't finish particularly well on that side of the ball. With that being said, if you told me going into the game that their 2 tailbacks were going to have 50 whatever yards, on 2.9 yards a carry from the tailback position, I would have told you we were going to win the game because I really felt like that was an important aspect. We obviously let the quarterback run a little bit, which we're not going to be able to do this game coming up because that guy's going to make even bigger plays than their quarterback did. That's going to be a huge, thing that we got to get corrected. Offensively, again, we had too many drives where we had 5 plays or less. That we've got to do a better job of sustaining drives.
How do we do that?
Now, fortunately, we had the 2 longer drives. It took some time off the clock and gave us 14 points. I mentioned yesterday, I felt like our first half special teams performance was lousy. There's a lot of things we got to get cleaned up there. We fumbled the opening kickoff. The first punt of the game is not a good punt. They get good field position. We had a couple of penalties, a late hit out of bounds, and just some uncharacteristic things we did, which enabled them to have
2 field goals.
Here's the good news. Good news is we came out of the third quarter. We made a big deal about coming out of halftime. Their first 2 offensive possessions were punt. And in our first 2 possessions of the second half, we got a touchdown out of the second possession. So we turned the ball over deep in their territory in the first one, but we did respond and get a touchdown. So, listen, there were some takeaways like every game. I've heard the narrative a little bit. Well, you didn't beat a great team on the road, blah, blah, blah. Listen, the team that's the kind of the standard right now in the NFL is the Chiefs, and they've had a lot of these type of games in the last month or so where maybe going into the game they thought you're going to win by a lot more, and they've squeaked out some wins, but they find a way to win the 1-score games every week. Here's the good news: we have found a way to win 2 1-score games in the last 4 weeks. That's something we hadn't done well in the beginning of the season. So we found a way to win. It was a blocked field goal, whatever. That's what we needed to take to win the game, and we won the game. So trying to obviously stay positive at the same time, make the corrections from the game.
Did you all get away with one on the blocked field goal?
No.
That's not ability.
No. So from a rule perspective, what you cannot do is you cannot grab the player and pull him to the ground, but you can push down on his back and push him to the ground. That's not holding. So holding is grab and pull. If a player is low and you push him to the ground, that's not considered holding. So we practiced that. We repped that. We felt like we had that an opportunity there, and that's why and really Brian gets all the credit, but it was a phenomenal job by Nathan Shepard and by Peyton Turner of getting their 2 players to the ground so Brian could jump through the A gap. And then when you leap through the A gap like that, you can't leverage. So he can't put his hands on anybody.
Right.
He can't land on anybody.
That's
so
right. He jumped clean over.
Exactly prettier as it looked at practice. He stumbled a little bit, but we got enough. We got up, we got over, and he got enough up to get a hand on the ball and make it not go in. So that's kudos to him.
That was, and listen, Brian Bresee was cutting up in that game. Brian Bresee was making plays. He had the sack. He was disruptive. I think he had a deflection. One of the Cam, I think he batted the ball down. He was very disruptive. And I asked the question, like, man, at what point does Brian Bresee start for the Saints defense? At what point do we say, okay, the 1st-round draft pick leads the team in sacks? He has 6.5 sacks. He just blocked the field goal. The guy literally leaped over the offensive lineman. He's 6'5", 300-something odd pounds. Leaped over him. He didn't touch him. Then had the presence as he was going down to put both his hands up in the air and got that ball and blocked that field goal. That was a phenomenal play within itself. So Coach Rizzi talking about how the special teams was kind of, was kind of down. They were 0-2 with the field goal. They did have the botch fumble early in the game, which the guy picks it up and he tries to run with it, but it wasn't a turnover. He lit up Matt Hayball on the play, but on the return, that could have been an issue with the Giants, but there was holding there. So that saved out where the referee threw the flag and negated the punt return by the Giants. So that was also a positive because that could have been disastrous, but it all worked and we were able to get from out of there, man, with no issues or problems at all. So yeah, Brian Brissett, man, he was awesome yesterday. Very awesome, man.
Push down on their helmet, but you can push down on their
No,
back.
you can't hit him in the head, but you can if the podium here was the flat back, you can push down on the player. You just can't grab and pull him to the ground. So, and then the penalty that they got earlier with the 3 points off the board, the officials determined that action started during the play. It wasn't a post-play foul. Initially, I thought they were going to just back them up on the kickoff. The officials got together, and the action of number 63 started while the play was still going on. So the initial act, he picked Peyton up and kind of slammed him on the ground. And that's why they backed him up there 15. That was obviously a huge play in the game too.
Yeah, there was he WWE slammed the man. I mean, he literally Hulk Hogan the man. He had the guy like this and just took him down like, oh, what part of football is that? So yeah, that was definitely a person.
Will Todd Grantham finish out the year with you guys?
No. So you guys have some context with Todd. So Todd has been offered and accepted the defense coordinator job with Oklahoma State. It was a situation where it was a really good situation for him to go in there with a fresh start with Mike Gundy, and so that's so Todd will be finished with us here as of tomorrow. So we me personally appreciate what Todd's done for me personally the last month. He's done a heck of a job here behind the scenes with the defensive staff, but it's certainly a great opportunity for him. He made the decision he wanted to get back into the college game. And he's obviously been a coordinator before at a couple of really good college programs. So I think Mike Gundy's getting a great coach, and congratulations to Todd.
Yeah, I bet. All right. So anyway, that's Coach Rizzy, man, dropping some game. And like I said, man, I and me and the family member, 71% of us believe, over 100 voters believe that Spencer Rattler will be the guy because he is. When you have an opportunity to prepare and you got your quarterback out, because I don't think Derek Carr clears the concussion protocol this week. I think Spencer Rattler will probably be the guy to get in there, and as soon as you can start getting him reps and figuring it out, and I think we should have a better performance. Like two things, very positive, offensively speaking, that are bonuses. Number five, which is the offensive lineman. Our 5 starting offensive linemen are back. So the second game of having them back should be a better performance because the Giants defensive line really did a phenomenal job against the Saints guys. Now you can call them rusty and dusty because they hadn't played together in a long time. Some of them guys was out for a long time. They're coming back, this, that, and the third. But in the second matchup, you'd hope that they're knocked off the rust and they're ready to play because we're going to need the running attack against the Commanders. No doubt about it. Especially with Spencer Rattler, he gives us a scramble element to it. But at the same time, I don't expect the full playbook to be there for Spencer, but he did have some live game action early in the year, which should kind of settle him down. He should have some more familiarity in terms of all of the practicing that been going on. So later on in the year is a little different, right? As opposed to seeing him in the first month of action, right? He just got here. So later on in the year with about 5 games remaining, right? 5 games? Isn't it 5? No, 4 games. With 4 games remaining, isn't it 4? Yeah, 4 games remaining here. Washington, Green Bay, Raiders, and Tampa. So yeah, 4 games remaining. So you're looking at it, you're saying it should be more of a settle down experience Spencer Rattler that you will see, being that it's later on in the year. So he had an opportunity to sit there and learn. He got some not just a game or 2. I think he was in there for 2 or 3 games that Spencer got an opportunity to get in there. So if he's the call, he has some more familiarity with that offense. So we should see a little bit more crisper version of Spencer Rattler. Also, the running attack will be very crucial. Having Kendre Miller back, he had that tough running touchdown that he was able to get there. So we're going to need that. We're going to need the offensive line to kind of open up lanes for Elvin, for Kendre Miller, Jamal Williams, let those three kind of help out there. We're going to need those guys, right? I did like the fact that the Saints were able to kind of move MVS around the field to find targets for him. I do like that because we were saying before prior, because MVS wasn't involved like he was supposed to, the Saints would just kind of keep him here and this, that, and the third. But Clint Kubiak, got to give him credit, him and Dennison, because he says Dennison works with him on some of this stuff. And he was able to move MVS around a little bit to try to get him involved. My only suggestion here, and they did use Dallin Hawker, Foster Moreau was in there blocking and stuff. He blew some blocks and stuff like that before, but he does. That's what Foster do from time to time. He misses blocks sometimes. It's just what it is. I've seen a lot of film on him this year. He missed some blocks. You know, he does miss a block or two. Juwan Johnson is going to be called upon. He had several catches in the game. He had a touchdown grab there in the game as well. We're going to need Juwan to ball out. Like late on in the year, we need Juwan Johnson to ball out for real. And he's been really kind of doing this airplane thing. You see him kind of improve. Before in the season, it was a little hit or miss, but you're starting to see Juwan Johnson settle down and really make plays, right? You know, so we're going to need more of that from Juwan Johnson. We're going to need that more of that from MBS. We need our 5 starting offensive linemen to get in this game. Perhaps this week we'll get something from Chris Olave. Remember, this is right around the time we're supposed to be hearing from Chris Olave. So if we hear something from him, if not this time, if not for the Commanders, perhaps for Green Bay, but we supposed to get a Chris Olave update, just letting you know. This week is we supposed to hear something by Chris Olave, right? We'll see. And also another thing is we've been looking for Tanu Passanio to come back. I think this is the week after 2 previous weeks. They shut him down right at the line. I think this is the week that we'll finally see Tanu Passanio come back to the defense. The defense is looking real good right now. They're doing a good job of kind of stuffing everybody, but it would be really nice to get Tanu Passanio back in time for Jaden Daniels, wouldn't it? To help out in the interior, how Brian Bresee is playing, how Chase Young and Carl and all these guys are stepping up. It'll be good to get Tanu back to kind of fortify that defensive line because they're starting to step up a bit. We've seen big Colin Saunders, what he was doing, and that he got a sack where he crushed the quarterback and kind of belly tumbled around, you know. So, you know, Nate Shepard doing this thing, Brian Bresee cutting up. So it'd be good to get Tanu. So those are some things that, you know, some positives going into this week here for the Saints that I will just want to see what happens here. So, like I said, our 5 starting offensive linemen are here. They, you know, Kendre Miller had a decent game. Alvin Kamara is on his way to have his best season as a Saint. Hopefully we get some good news on Chris Olave. The movement of MBS around the offense has been cool. Juwan Johnson's emergence has been really nice. And all that is very positive, right? All very positive. But one little caveat I just want to throw in on top of that is the fact that I would like to see another wide receiver component added to the mix to kind of help out stretching the offense. We probably won't see it, but Cedric Wilson Jr., in my opinion, you know, he caught a pass here, you know, he had a block here or there, but I'm saying we need another explosive player to kind of at least scare the defense. We got MBS here. You got Kevin Austin Jr., who has been doing a solid job in what he's been doing, but I really feel like we could use another speed guy. Perhaps we can kind of add, you know, because there's nothing wrong with Mason Tipton. Perhaps Mason Tipton can have an appearance because he's not benched. Well, he's not on the practice squad. He's on the active roster. He's just a healthy scratch every game over the last several weeks. So it looks like Kubiak lost faith in him. But you can't do that, right? These are young wide receivers. They have more of a higher ceiling than an old veteran or whatever. And this guy is going to be a good wide receiver. You know, give him another shot. Let him come back in there. Let him help because his speed can help us here because he will give us something that Cedric Wilson Jr. doesn't give us. Cedric Wilson don't have any speed. We got a Kevin Austin Jr. We got too many Juniors on. We got Cedric Wilson Jr. We got Kevin Austin Jr. Goddamn, we got too many Juniors. Let's just rock with Kevin Austin Jr. Let's see if we can give Mason Tipton an opportunity to get in there because his speed to take the tops off of the defense would help. You know, just saying. And we'll see how that goes. But you remember in practice, too, this could work, too. And maybe they would consider this with Spencer Rattler coming in there. is the fact that, remember, in preseason and in training camp, Spencer Rattler and Mason Tipton had a good synergy and a chemistry in training camp, didn't they? Y'all remember that? Put one in the chat. Does that kind of help out? That, you know, you want to kind of make the guy feel a little bit more comfortable. Maybe Mason Tipton is the guy that you can bring in there, you know, with Spencer Rattler, because they had some good pitching and catching going on during training camp, where Spencer would throw out the Mason Tipton. They had some good catches and throws going on there. So perhaps that just something I'm throwing out there, because I think Mason Tipton should be given another chance. You know, he kind of struggled, but he's a young player. He got a high ceiling. I say go for him, because he's another speed weapon that you could use to take the top off the Washington defense. Just saying, you know. All right. Big ups to y'all, man. Appreciate y'all being in the stream as well, fam. Let me hit up a few questions before we get ready to get on out here. What's up, Lori? Shout out to my girl, Lori. Big ups to you. What's up, Max? What's shaking? All right. Brother James says a few games ago, he was trying to step it up. You see his job on the line now. DA gone. I know he sees us always talking about mobile QBs. Then Rattler, a Taysom skills. Carr tried to be a Taysom. Yeah, he tried to do the Taysom thing. It just, Taysom's a different player, man. And Derek Carr just, you know, he was just trying to make a play, and it just didn't end well for him, man. You know, like I say, he went down like an airplane with no wheels. You know, imagine that, trying to land your airplane with no wheels, that ain't gonna, you know, you tearing up everything. People getting thrown out of their seats. You got fire starting because you're rubbing the plane's belly on the concrete and all that type of shit. Something tell me they're gonna have the foam truck out there to spray you down, man, trying to make that type of landing. All right, Kathleen says, Jake Haener does not seem to show as much control on offense as Spencer Rattler, in my opinion. Indeed. And, you know, and like I said, we always talk about this too, is the fact that we seen in preseason with Spencer Rattler, there was a competition. Well, not much of a competition, but Spencer Rattler won the job, and it wasn't close. He won the job outright. So whatever they were doing to him and doing this third string, or this third string emergency quarterback thing, is an injustice, in my opinion, because it violates the rules. If a player plays and he wins his job, he's supposed to have his job. You don't think Spencer sees the same thing we see? I mean, Jake Haener obviously don't care. That's why I'm side-eyeing Jake Haener like, what kind of dude this is? You know you didn't win that job, bro. You know, I don't care. I got that job. I'm good. I'm like, wow, dude. You didn't win the job. You know you didn't win that job. See, if he was a real one, he would have went to that coach and said, man, listen, I appreciate you giving me the call for this, but listen, Spencer Rattler, he beat me. That's his job. He did that. So, you know, that Spencer won the job, such and such. And he should have done that, because if he had won the job and the situation was in the reverse, he would have want somebody to do that for him. See, that's what's one of the things I was getting at that old possum about. Dirty back ass shit like that, because you violating the competition principles. If a guy wins the start job on the other, I don't care how the other guy feel about it. He won the job. It's just what it is. So, I mean, that's why I was like, what kind of dude this Haener cat is when you say, well, I got the job. I'm the second string quarterback. Hey, mom, guess what? I'm the second string quarterback. You know you didn't win that job. You know you didn't beat that man. We know it. Everybody know it. And Spencer Rattler, how you think he felt when that happened? You don't think his mom and daddy was saying some shit like, man, how you beat that guy? You obviously beat. How did they choose that guy? Oh, because you had a back ass dog running around here tearing up stuff. That's why his ass in the street right now. You know. All right, but thank you for that, man. Well, big ups to y'all, man. James says Kubiak prefers Rattler. He spoke on Rattler's behalf when Rattler started the last time Carr got hurt. I think with Carr as QB, Kubiak's offense struggled because he can only do so much with Derek Carr. Indeed, bro. Yeah, Derek Carr, it's a tough thing. Like, if you a coordinator, you got a guy, you try to get him to fit your system, but the guy's in and out of the lineup. Like, at some point early in the year, he actually had Carr playing faster. He really did. But when he gets knocked out of the game and he's not practicing, all that resets. Then you have to then go back to this whole cycle of getting the guy back on court. Because if you remember, it took him a lot of the OTAs and the offseason practices leading up into the training camp. They went through a lot of practices to speed Carr up. He was out there throwing the ball faster. He was out there moving. He was looking. He was progressing, going through his progressions. But when he got hurt, all that reset because he's programmed with many years of what he was doing prior, and that's just what happens. That's that old dog. You can't teach an old dog new trick type thing. That's what that is. So most of the time, people are not trying to teach old dogs new tricks. They just get a new dog to teach new tricks to. Old dog, new tricks. See, that don't get complicated until you switch dog with humans. Then it really gets complicated. All right. Shout out, man. L-Dub says why they can't find someone for the offense or an interior defensive lineman. I think they got some people, Tanu Passanio coming back. Like I said, a big thing is we haven't heard from Chris Olave. That is due this week. We're supposed to hear something, whether he'd be good for the Commanders game or for the Packers game. We should hear something from Chris Olave. So that is big too within itself. And it's just, listen, the Saints, the what's really important to me is the Saints running attack. If we can get that running attack going, and we got Elvin Kamara and Kendre Miller and Jamal Williams, if we can get that running game going, fam, that could help us out a lot. It really could. It can do some really positive stuff that can kind of help us kind of move this thing along, because we could end up, you could beat the Commanders. You could, if you got a really good running attack and you're running the ball and you get into your play action bag. We got enough people to kind of beat these people and keep it moving. Now, Green Bay is going to be the most difficult challenge, to be honest with you, because Green Bay, you got to go up there in the cold and beat them, and you're not going to beat them scoring 14 points. It's just not going to happen. You have to be able to take care of business. You got to turn them over and then capitalize off the turnovers. You got to sack Jordan Love. You can't let Jordan Love scramble on you. And they got some people. You got to shut them down. You got to do all that in the cold. And when it's cold like that and you're on the road, you got to bring your running attack. You got to have a stiff defense and a running attack, and you got to participate in clock management. That's how you're able to cipher away opportunities from your adversaries, by working the clock. So, I mean, we got a 3-pronged running attack, and our offensive line is solid and healthy, and we doing what we're supposed to. We can steal some wins here. And I'm not saying we are, but I'm saying it's a possibility that you can steal wins from these people. But you got to execute, man. You got to execute. You really do. All right, M. says the clock needed to keep going anyways. Why would he run towards the sideline, stay in bounds, keep the clock going? He's seen that marker on the sideline and he just died for it, man. That's what I think Carr was doing. He was just trying to make a play. But like I said, man, he went down like an airplane with no wheels. And usually if y'all seen enough crashes and on movies and in real life, you see if that happens where it was times when you see airplanes, scary as that is, the plane wheels wouldn't go down, and they had to do a difficult land in there. And then they had all of the foam trucks and everything along the runway just in case. That was some scary shit. I've seen that happen, man. I would never fly again either. I'll be like John Madden, boy. I'll be taking buses every damn way, man. I'll buy me a bus, man. I'll buy me a Winnebago or some shit. I'll see you in a week. Okay. Yeah. That's what the hell I'm doing, man. I give me a gas card, man, and a Winnebago. I'll see you in a week. All right. Hemisphere says, Breeze struggles against run. He needs to play more as an end. He's a good pass rusher. I hear you saying that, Hemisphere. I haven't forgot you pushing him more as a defensive end. I get what you're saying. But they got help there already. So I could see them moving him around every now and again, but he's not picked to be a DE. He's picked to be an interior defensive tackle. He's terribly disruptive. Now, listen, the more difficult thing is getting a defensive tackle to be a pass rusher than it is to teach him to run stuff. All that is that's coaching. So when people say, man, you're right. You're absolutely right. But that is the easier of the two. Trust me on that. And you don't see too many defensive tackles that lead their team with sacks, and both their starting defensive ends are healthy. The guy got 6.5 sacks. I think Curl has 3.5. He's beating about three sacks. But I like him where I like him on the interior. He causes problem. And besides, the ends, it's not the only way you can generate pressure from the ends. You have to be able to, and a lot of people agree with this from a defensive standpoint, a lot of the if you can get internal pressure up the middle of the court into the quarterback's face and flush him out to the ends, a lot of people like that. So you got one that can do that. We got one that's disruptive. They just have to work on this pass rush side. I think it's a lot easier than the aforementioned the first one, right? All right, John says, will Grantham be replaced? Grantham already was replaced. He was they demoted him and gave him a senior advisor role. It was a demotion, right? When Rizzy took over. And Rizzy kind of gave him some accolades on the back of this interview right here. You know, he didn't want to talk because it no need to skewer the guy. The guy already out of here. Tuesday, he packs his damn bags and he's Oklahoma State's problem now. You know, but he was a guy that was here for the last couple of years. The defensive line really didn't grow up under him. You know, so they put Brian Young, who was the pass rush specialist, as the new defensive line coach. And you have seen a improvement, haven't you, with that Saints defensive line? When they were doing this, like, man, what's going on with the defense? You got Joe Woods over there, Brian Young operating as the defensive line coach. The Saints have seen some improvement there. They have seen some improvement there. They really have. So we just got to keep on improving. It's a lot of time. All right. Brian says we got 4 games left. Peyton Turner played the whole season without getting hurt. Just wanted to put that fact out there. LOL. All right. Thank you for that. All right. Eli said, what's up, Eli? Said we still out here. All right. There you go. I hear you. I see you. All right. Yeah, we brother Eli there. I had to pop in on my dog Lo yesterday to check on him, see if everything all right over there. He popped in there. He said, man, Q don't never come over here. I said, hold on. Yes, I do. I popped in there and I just don't say stuff. I don't say stuff all the time unless I feel like I got to say it. But I just wanted to let him know. I was like, listen, bro, I warned y'all about this. Because it was high as Cheech and Chong. They was running around here, feathers like shining like they dipped them in petroleum jelly. Just rolling around here. They was hoity-toity. Wasn't they? Oh, we this and we that. Rise up and all this kind of old stuff, right? And I told him, and it was making fun of the Saints. And I told him, I said, listen, man, let me tell y'all something. They just fired Dennis Allen. And I told him, I said, hey, man, y'all just what we needed. Because the Saints haven't won a game in 7 weeks. They got a hated rival coming into the building. Y'all are just what we needed. You know, do you remember that old school soul? You're just what I needed. That's on that. That's when that was playing, you know, in my head when the Falcons, when we looking at the schedule and the Falcons, you're just what I needed. That song. That's exactly what we was doing. And then we beat the Falcons. And then I said, listen, before all that happened, I said, listen, I'm cautioning y'all here that don't be surprised if the Saints beat you and start a losing streak. Put 1 in the chat if y'all, because it was on the preview show. It was on the preview show. Put 1 in the chat if you remember me telling y'all that. Put 1 in the chat if you remember that. I told Lo and I told the Falcon family members, I told them, listen, man, don't be surprised if the Saints beat you and you question yourselves and then y'all start a losing streak. I told that man that. I told him that they hadn't won a game since then. I told him, I said, y'all will do a collapse. I told him that too. I said, well, listen, man, y'all still the Falcons, man. Y'all still. And I told him, I even talked about in the next stream after that, I made mention of the fact that how we won as an organization because we had to get from a lot of losing. And I was giving the history on how Sean Payton did it and how he had so much success. I was dropping game, telling them that they had to have a delineation, a separation, a divider between the collapsing ass Falcons and a new winning identity. I even told them all that. They thought I was talking shit. And you know, I ain't gonna lie, man. I got to keep it real. I was talking a little shit. I'm gonna talk mine, but at the same time, I'm throwing facts in there. I'm gonna talk my shit in a very funny and enlightening and educating way, like I like to do. But I told them that. They didn't want to hear it. They want to try to forget it. And as long as you don't remember what I told you about what's going on, you're going to continue to fall through the flow. You're going to fall through the flow. You're going to fall through the flow. you're going to fall through the floor. You're going to continue to fall through that goddamn floor. It's just what's going to happen. You know, and I told him. I tried to tell him, you know, I told him best way I could. And they done lost 4 straight. They sit up there. What's the record now? I forgot I think they're a sub 500 team now. Aren't they sub 500? I was like, man, hey, man, listen, you know, it's one of them situations, man, where you gotta listen and learn, man. You know, that's like this, fam. Let me play this. This is how the Falcons playing right now. This is what happening to them right now. They falling through the floor. Yep. That part. They falling through the goddamn floor. They fall. That's how they sound right now. Touching everything falling, hitting them upside the head, everything. Yeah, nothing. Just feathers smacked off them and every damn thing. I told them, I said, somebody gonna smack the feathers off y'all ass. You ain't gonna be able to fly nowhere. So yeah, there you go. All right. Anyway, let me stop picking at the Falcon people, man. All right. What's up, brother Jerry Covington? Shout out to you, brother. Good to see you, my man. Appreciate you, man. Brother Roe, OG in the building. Much love to my brother Jerry and Jerry Covington. Both Jerrys are in the building. Brother Duke's in this thing. Backwoods. Shout out to you. All right. Good to see you, brother. My dog Randolph. What's up, Randolph? How you doing, sir? Keeping it real. All right. All right. Duke says, Q, he says, what do you think? What do you think? Go with Rattler. We need to bring some QB. Now I think Rattler's the guy. Rattler's the guy. You just got to give him a running attack. And like I said, Jawan Johnson, I give that's a lot of stuff to be positive about, to be honest with you, because Jawan Johnson's play is really picking up. I don't know if you guys noticed that. I know y'all probably did, but his play is picking up, right? We got our starting 5 offensive linemen. We got Kendre Miller back along with Elvin Kamara's playing really well. We got Jamal there. We can kind of, trio those guys together. We'd be fine. MVS, they're moving them around, which is providing more opportunities. We just need to find another. Kevin Austin Jr. is playing well. He's another positive. The Chris Olave news will be big this week, but I really would like to see Mason Tipton get another chance in the offense because of his speed component. I would really want to see him there. I think he gives us more of a punch than, say, Cedric Wilson Jr. We need another guy to stretch the defense. The guy that, Cedric Dunn, he's just a possession guy and doesn't have any speed. We need somebody else to respect. But I think Rattler would probably be the choice. And besides, it's the Kubiak was involved in selecting Spencer Rattler. So that's his hand-picked guy that he wants to work with any time. So any chance he gets to work with him, he's going to make the call. And then that just proves that Jake Haener's just a buffer quarterback. But he's allowing this to happen. He didn't even have to do that. If he would have been honest and keep it real and don't let those people play him like that, then he wouldn't have to get embarrassed like what's about to happen. Because Rizzy, just if you listen to, and I just played the Rizzy interview, if you listen to what he's saying we got to go talk to the offensive staff and find out. They're going to tell him who they're going to have at quarterback. See, he was trying to play the shell game where he was trying to keep everybody balanced. He had the scales of justice, and the scales of justice is usually something like this. The lady holding the scale, and one is up here and the other one down there. It's not balanced like this. In the scale of justice, the one scale is higher than the other. He's trying to keep them here. And that's because they're going to tell him who they want. And I guarantee you, Kubiak, who's the offensive coordinator, is going to say Rattler because he drafted Rattler. Rattler fits what he wants to do more than Jake Haener does. Jake Haener is Carmichael's boy. Carmichael picked him. And Pete Carmichael, just like Coach Possum, are history. They're gone. So it's just the side effect of that, man. But he shouldn't have to play himself. Lloyd says it's not going to happen, sir. The Saints suck. But I appreciate your work and effort in putting out Saints information. Thank you, Lloyd. Appreciate you. Thank you. That was a very polite and respectful way for saying, man, the hell with that Saints. That was very polite, Lloyd. Hey. That was pretty good, Lloyd. That was very respectful, brother. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Appreciate that, man. That was very polite, wasn't it, family? Very polite. What's up, God's Appointed One? Pelicans Nola, shout out to you. All right. What's up, Terra 6, man? Appreciate you, man. Said Falcons so bad, Saints still got Dirty Bird's feathers. And then we smacked the feathers off there. I warned them. I told them, fam, y'all listen to me tell these people this. Y'all heard it? And I told them, man, and it was like, man, Q put what they call it? They put the root, the voodoo, Q spoke it into existence. No, it's not the fact. Are you speaking something into existence if you have been in a situation, you walk down the path, right? Like a lot of time game, like I call it game, but it's life experience. You just have to have the ability to articulate it in a way that is universally accepted, right? And that's where you have great success on, right? So the thing is, if I've had experiences in my life where I paid attention to stuff, right? And I've seen situations happen over and over, not once, which would be considered, an accident or a unique situation, or whatever, or twice, because two things happen twice is not an accident to me. It's a pattern. So one thing happens one time, and then the second thing happens. It's a pattern now. And anything after that, it's just you building the pattern, you building the routine. You got a behavior pattern that's set. We have enough of behavior patterns from the Atlanta Falcons over the years where you can pretty much predict their movements. That's game. Just like we just talked about people. It means the same across the spectrum, whether you talk about individual people or teams, which is a collection of people. And they are guided by the universal mindset of the head coach, right? So and then that plays a part of the team philosophy because there's a psychology and an energy over the team. And the head coach comes here. He cannot ignore the collapse in history, the failures of a franchise. He has to address them, not just in words, but in action. And not just saying we're going to just go out here and get better guys and do this, that, and the third. No, you didn't have to not only turn the mindset of the players that's on that team around, but you have to turn around the family basis philosophy and mindset as well, because that plays a part in why they're losing. Because the family base for the Falcons are expecting them to collapse. Because when they fail, it's a pattern that kicks in and they say, here we go again. Here go the Falcons collapsing all over again. This is always happening to us. We always can't win. Oh, we go up here and get our feathers smacked off, and then we gotta listen to Big Q make fun of us and hit that damn laughing button. And then laugh maniacally at him. Hell yeah. Listen, y'all might be one win better than us, but that won't stop me from once we get a win, we win one, and y'all lose one, man, I hit that button all day on your ass and point and laugh and point. But anyway, man, it's out of love and respect, right? It's all love and respect. But I'm saying until they address the situation that I talked about, not just with team, but the family base, this is going to keep happening. Because the collapse mindset is put directly in the mindset of the support base. They expect the team to fall apart, and it becomes like a self-fulfilling prophecy. So when I told them that, all I was doing was just looking at their pattern, the history from the past, and knowing that the coach didn't do nothing to address that. I knew it. I said it. He didn't do anything. And I gave him an example. I said, well, how do you do that? Coach Payton. I gave him the example of Coach Payton. Coach Payton knew this. That's why I like Coach Payton was on some genius stuff. Coach Payton knew this. He knew he could not establish success in the city of New Orleans without creating a delineation or a line in between the losing Saints and the winning Saints that he was trying to build. How did he accomplish this? He brought in a voodoo priestess. Whether he believed that or not, it had an impact on the Saints support base to see that happening, because he didn't do it privately in his office somewhere and she moving around with a snake dancer. No, he didn't do it privately. He did it in the stadium with a stadium full of people. He did it twice that I know of. He also did mock funeral processions where he'd have it was a jazz funeral. Y'all remember, put one in the chat if y'all remember Coach Payton doing this. He had mock jazz funerals where he had a casket of dead written on the casket about the old dead saints, and he had a mock funeral procession where they was just a jazz funeral where they was just partying and all this kind of stuff, insanity, burying the dead saints. He was intelligent and genius enough to create a delineation in the minds of the support base and the players so he can be about the business of winning. That's how he did it. Because if he hadn't done that, then you'd have been hearing all the stuff about the ghosts and trying to stop the Saints and all that. The next thing you know, you had field goals that usually would miss was going in. Y'all remember that? And people was even clowning and saying Tom Benson in there directing the football. It sounds crazy, but I'm telling you, this is what happened. And not only that, but Coach Payton would bring in people. He would bring in, because he stayed here for a long time. He was really good at bringing in motivational speakers to reinforce his message. He was really good at doing that. So he'll bring in entertainers. He'll bring in basketball coaches. He'll bring in all this stuff to talk to the team and reinforce winning. And he did that for a long period of time. Until they get that, they won't get out of that rut they're in. You can't, you won't get out. That's game right there for y'all ass, but they will not take it. They won't take it. I told them that months ago. That's game. I gave it to them. I said, that's how we were able to turn the tide. They won't listen. They won't listen. Because I told them this shit weeks ago. I told them everything was going to happen. I said you was going to start doubting yourself. I'm going to start you on the 4-game losing streak. Oh, you just talking some shit. I'll say, oh, really? Am I? Am I? Or maybe I just know what I'm talking about. They won't listen. They won't listen. So I'm going to just keep my voids to myself and the Who Dat Nation. Much love. All right, Falcons. I told y'all, man. It was supposed to say, Q, stop messing with them Falcons. They will go to the car and start yelling at you. I got you, bro. I'm going to leave them alone, Hemisphere. You're right, brother. I'm going to stop picking at them, brother. I'm going to leave them alone. OG said, let them bash them. Falcons. I told him. But it's all good, fam. I'm gonna leave him alone. What's up, brother William? How you doing, sir? Appreciate you. Jack says when the Falcons picked the QB in the first round after signing Kirk, they did that karma on themselves. There you go. All right, Saints. Yeah, what's up, Super Saints? Says Q. Where Big Low at vacuuming up all those fellas? You remember, brother? Yes. Remember Low was doing all that sweeping in the broadcast. Y'all remember that? I said, hey, bro, you might want to. When we knock the fellas off, you might want to pick them fellas up and make a feather duster. And I told him there's going to be so many feathers that you probably would want to sell those feather dusters, but you probably ain't going to get much money for them because they ain't worth shit. You might get a penny or something like that. But I told him that. It was a little joke, but at the same time, man, it was right as rainwater. I was right as rainwater on that. They can't take that away. All right, Terra 66 says Big Low. He says, "How Big Low doing, Q? After them fellas missing?" Well, Low pretended like he know what I was talking about. Of course, he pretended like he didn't know what I was talking about. Obviously. He said, Q, what are you talking about? Okay, never mind. Okay, never mind. I thought y'all learned y'all lesson, but them Falcons got some hard heads, bro. They got some hard heads. Them birdie people, man, they got some hard heads over there, man. They don't want to listen. They don't want to listen to us. Hey, man, you don't have to take advice from a black and gold man. I get it. I understand. Brother Quavadius says Saints better sit Carr down. Carr has $30 million injury clause in his contract. If he can't pass a physical by March the 17th of the next season, Loma signed Carr to that crazy contract. Big dummy. Yeah. I heard shout out to John Sigler. He wrote an article based on that clause. And listen, John Sigler keeps his foot on. You talking about he didn't like Dennis Allen either, man. He didn't like Dennis Allen. I don't think he likes Mickey Loomis either, but the Carr contract was a bad deal. It wasn't a good deal. That was something that was driven by Dennis Allen. With Dennis Allen gone, that's another piece of protection that's away. But it depends on who gets here, like who's the next guy up? A lot of people think Coach Rizzi should get an opportunity. I think Coach Rizzi should be interviewed, regardless of how the season ends, still interview him, but he wouldn't be the only one. I'd be interviewing a lot of people. And based on what you telling them is like, that'll decide whether or not you get an opportunity to get some of these guys. Because most of the guys that want to come here, they're going to want to do their own thing. They ain't going to want to be clasped down by contracts because of Mickey Loomis. And the major deterrent to stopping the change is Mickey Loomis. He's the major deterrent of that. He stands like a ogre at the gates with his arms folded and the big ass misshapen wooden club in his hand. Y'all seen these old fantasy movies? A big ass. He's a big. Hold on now. Holt. Who goes there? Hold on now. That's he's standing at the gate of progress. He doesn't. He doesn't want the team to progress. He thinking that is the way. This is the only way. I said it. It's I know. It's that's the right way. And listen, if a guy can't take that, what the hell with him? I know. That's him. He believes that's what it is. This guy, that's what it is. He believes, and that'll be a main problem. So we like who the coach is and all that. The bigger question in my mind is, who is the guy making a call for the next coach? Who is it going to be? We know it's supposed to be some changes happening at the top of the organization. To me, that will be the biggest question before we get to who the coach is, because if the guy who's going to be making the decisions is the guy that we currently have now, and they continue with that blueprint, then you won't see a lot of the people that you're going to try to interview. They're not going to want to come down here. They're not going to want to come down if they can't choose their own quarterback. They cash strapped with money, and then you got to play out their timeline. And that's just how some people are not going to want to roll with that. You kind of restrict where you're going with that. Yeah. Yeah, man. That Rizzi, man, I bust that Rizzi for y'all, man. That was for my dog OG to the third degree. Shout out to him. He been waiting on that Rizzi since they brung in Rizzi several games ago. And I've been working on my Rizzi, and people telling me, Q, you almost there, keep working on it. Yeah, bro, I listen, man. I at the end of the season, I want to be, really good with my Rizzi impersonation to the point where Rizzi and Mickey can have a conversation for y'all, man, at the end of the year. That's what I'm trying to work. What I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get the Rizzi and the Mickey right where they need to be. Now, that'll be cold. When I can get Mickey and Rizzi talking to y'all in the interview. That'll be cold. That's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm working. Yeah. Pelicans notices Gail Benson, you better listen to Big. Yeah, we trying, man. She listened. When they fired Dennis Allen, that wasn't just me, that was the entire Who Dat Nation. The Great Saint Think Tank was promoting this. The Great Saint Think Tank, it wasn't the vast majority of the people, but it was enough. Like I told you, you're not going to get everybody to go along because most of these people don't know what a code is. They're not going to stick to no code, and most of them only care about their own selves until something happened to them. Then they're going to want you to help them out. Some people selfish like that. They don't understand. They haven't had enough life experiences where shit took them down, and they have to realize that you have to rely and listen to other people sometimes if it's for the greater good. You get what I'm going with that? And that's always been the case. It's just we made a dent in enough people so they could be, but it took years. It took years to get that done. But it showed the power that you have, and that I've been saying. I've been saying this for such a long time about your power. You had the power to fire an NFL coach, and the reports said you do it. They ain't hide it from you. The reports came out and said that you were the one responsible for the firing. You, the mighty Who Dat Nation. Those who participated that didn't go to the games, those who did not go to their functions, those who did not buy their junk, their merch, all those guys, all of you guys, I'm talking to you, you did it. You've had the possum fired. Despite Mickey Loomis, who has 2 titles in the Saints organization as VP and general manager, and probably the most powerful person in the building, not named Gail Benson, because Dennis Lauscher don't know shit either. But he's the one making these decisions, and you overrided him with both those titles because he did not want to fire Dennis Allen. Oh, hold on now, Gil. What's that? Hold on now. It's the injuries. Oh, hey, hold on now. Yeah. Hold on. Now, Mickey, you're going to fire that guy. You're going to get that guy out of here. These guys are pissed. Hold on now, Gil. Hold on. You can't listen to them. Those guys are crazy. Hold on. They're crazy. I don't listen to them. I don't take advice for them. They're unqualified. It's just it's lazy. It's lazy and unsophisticated. And I heard the same old stuff, and remember he waved his hands. That burnt his ass when he had to go up there and fire him. He's so arrogant and smug that when he had to fire him, he put out a statement with Gail's statement on the back end of her statement saying that Dennis Allen is a great coach. So smug. How is he a great coach and he in the street? I explain that one to you. Don't tell me that one. Huh? He's so great, but he in the street, he unemployed. He's a great coach. He'll make a greater coach on the unemployment line. You just wait. He's gonna be the top unemployment person in the world. Man, dude. But you did that. All I'm saying is you showed your power and your discipline. You said enough is enough. And when you said enough is enough, you fired an NFL coach. Prior to that, they was telling you that you couldn't do it and you had to take what they gave you. Put 1 in the chat if that's what you heard. Facts. They was telling you had to take what they gave you. They was telling you that the New Orleans Saints would be stuck with this guy for the entire year because the Saints don't fire anybody in the middle of the year. They ain't fire him since the 90s or the 80s. Put 1 in the chat if that's the truth. They were telling you that. And I told you when they said that, I said, listen, this ain't the old days. This a pendulum shift, I called it. We ain't going for that nowadays. And what happened? What happened? You flexed your power, your muscle as a collective. And you fired an NFL coach over the outcries of the general manager and VP guy, the same damn dude. A guy that's entrenched in the Saints office for 20 something odd years, and you fired him over him saying, oh no, don't do it. Injuries. Man, listen, that's power. I told y'all have it, man. And that's just a small example. Imagine if when you make demands of the team to remove certain people, if I can get you to fire that coach as a collective, what else can I do? Huh? I got a list of demands. I told y'all we have a list of demands. Number 1 is a change at the top of the organization with Mickey Loomis not being the general manager anymore. He can keep his VP job, but have another general manager there. A shifting of minds. Dennis Lauscher needs to be removed from the president's job because he doesn't know what he's doing. He's not a president of football operations. He's a businessman that does business. He doesn't know anything about football on the field. He needs to be shifted out of that position, and that position needs to be filled with a person that's John Lynch type. That's a player that was really good in the league and went through the NFL executive program. There's a list of those types. Stop me if I'm wrong here. If you can do that with the coach, you can do that with the echelon there. And then the report came out, I covered it last week, that, the Saints are going to keep Mickey Loomis in this position. Oh, really? They said that about Allen. I told y'all that at the time. I said, hey, do you know what you got to do? Make your demands. We're not going to support you until this happens. Nobody, and I'm going to tell you why you're going to win. There is nobody there more important than getting your money. Nobody's worth more than that. That sounds a little harsh and cruel, but that's business, baby. I'm telling y'all facts, man. We empowered, man. We empowered, man. We run this, all of this. The whole thing is set up to make you seem like you ain't doing nothing. You at mercy to everybody else. It's that victim crap. You are empowered here. You have more power than you know, even in sports. And I'm saying, if you're doing this in sports, imagine what you can do on the whole world. Just a small example. Just talking facts, man. All right, M. says Q, until they at minimum win another conference championship, they need to shut Club Saint down. I know I'm against that. I was against the lights and the smoke machines, and they ain't done nothing in 4 years. What we dancing for? My philosophy is like, winning here is what we supposed to do. That's almost, like, okay, we dance when we win, and what you do when you lose? Just be sad and walk around the locker room pissed off. No, turn the smoke machines on and start dancing there. Be consistent with it. Go ahead and dance your ass off when you lose. Oh, you go do that. Well, act like you've been here is what I'm saying. You're supposed to be, happy about a win, but at the same time, I don't think smoke machines and all that's supposed to come out until you do something like win the NFC South, get a crown, then turn the dance machines and the smoke machines on. That's something to celebrate, right? I mean, we done dropped down to the lowest denominator here. We just celebrate with a win. For us, yes, but for you supposed to understand and know you don't break out no smoke machines and disco balls unless you win the NFC South, get a playoff victory, and ultimately go up and up and up. I ain't saying you can't be happy, but what you need smoke machines and disco lights for? What the hell is that for? What is that about? I'm like, Bill Belichick don't play that. Bill Belichick, like, his philosophy is, hey, man, act like you've been there before. That's what he tells them. And he won more championships than anybody that I know, you know what I'm saying? But that was his philosophy. I'm against that Club Saint shit. I really am, man. What you celebrating for? They dancing their ass on. We just got five wins on the season. What we dancing for? What we celebrating? I just got paid. That's what they dance. You got your direct deposit money? Yeah. You get that whether they win, lose, or draw. So it is what it is, man. We just got to keep it pushing, man. William says, Q, what is that song Big Lo was singing early in the year? Yeah. The juvenile parody that he was doing. I don't hear he not playing it that much this often right now. So like I said, the Saints started the slide. The black and gold started that slide for them. It's just what it is. We'll see if they win. They probably get a win this week. They do for a win now. But when that losing grabs you, it grabs a hold of you. You got to find a way to shake loose. Giovanni says, Q, should we draft another defensive tackle to complement Brissy? Now you still got Colin Saunders and Nate Shepard under contract. Brian Bressee's there. Ultimately, at some point, he'll be starting for you, right? He'll step into a starting role. The Saints did draft, what's the guy name? Christian Boyd. They did pick up Christian Boyd later in the draft. They did add John Ridgeway. I don't know if you go with another defensive tackle guy there, unless, I guess if you want more of a run stuffer in the middle. There, I don't know, depending on how it goes. I know Passanio's contract, I think his contract is up this year. So, but I don't know. It depends on where you're drafting them at. I guess later on in the draft, just another defensive tackle, like a big nose tackle to kind of fortify things. I wouldn't be against that, but drafting them late, I wouldn't be mad about that. We had some injuries and issues with guys. Remember, Big Bink Saunders got hurt for a few games. He wasn't in there. Nate Shepard had struggled early on. He's starting to look better now. So I'm just thinking, was that a mix of Ty Grantham not knowing what he's doing and stuff? Because they look a lot better now with Joe Woods. They're talking with him. So they look a lot better than what they did before. So I'm thinking in my mind, is that Ty Grantham? Was Ty Grantham a part of how poorish they look? They must have been, because Rizzy, that's one of the first thing he did. It's like he demoted the guy. He didn't demote nobody else. But he was a great coach. So it is all it is. Duke says, Q, you think Rizzy handled the chewing out punter yesterday? He said, do you, Rizzy, handled the chewing out punter yesterday? Appeared AK-41 had to do. had to somewhat get between them. He that's he says passion, but you know, he took it too far. He took it too far. He blew the kid up, man. It's a rookie punter. And Matt Hayball has been you know, doing a hell of a job. Matt, there was an article I covered last week that Hayball was could be mentioned in Pro Bowl voting. You know, he don't think it would be. He was so humble enough to know, but he didn't have to blow the kid up like that. You know, he didn't have to blow him up. He threw his damn hat down. I mean, he literally slammed his hat down and started bitching at the kid and just literally lit into him. You can see the guy standing up there with his eyes open, and Rizzy's tearing into the dude. And Alvin Kamara had to come and like, yeah, let me go ahead on because the cameras is turning. Let me go ahead on and get you. And Alvin did that shit because he knew he wasn't going to blow up on Alvin. Alvin's the team star. So Alvin used his star power and his influence and to kind of settle that situation. That's why I got love for Alvin Kamara, because he didn't have to step up in there. Ain't no damn coach came to that dude rescue. What was Phil Galliano to get in between Rizzy and them? Ain't nobody else popped up there except for Alvin Kamara. Did you notice that? That's a true team captain. And, you know, he just stepped up there and got in between Rizzy and saved Matt Hayball. He really did, man. But I think he overreacted on that. You know, that's what I was saying about Rizzy. Rizzy is passionate, but, you know, at some point we got to have some emotional intelligence too, right? Is there such a thing? Emotional intelligence, because he won't make it through a full season of being a head NFL coach the way he behaved. I mean, he gonna get up out of here. You're gonna have to tag a ambulance to his leg or something, because you have the ambulance with the doors in, because he wide open all during the game. You know, he jumping up and down, and I'm like, this guy's y'all think I was playing when I said he was a madman. If you watched him, he's a madman. You know, his eyes is bucking, he running and pointing, jumping up and down. You know, he the get back coach, he everything. You know, he doing too much. He got to settle down. I know he's excited, but he got to settle the hell out. He have to blow the kid up on that. So that wasn't cool for him to do that to the kid. The kid made a mistake, but listen, man, the kid been punting his ass off. You got to admit that. He been punting his ass off out there and doing a hell of a job for this entire year. Matt Hayball has done a wonderful job at the punter position. He make one mistake there and that you can't tear into him like that. You know, go and talk to him, explain it to him, go from there, such and such. When Brian Kelly, the LSU coach, lit up CJ Daniels, the wide receiver, who, by the way, hit the transfer portal. That news happened, last week? He kind of lit into him, and people was like, man, he wrong for that. Cam Newton says, no, he ain't. He said these kids are spoiled, NIL. He went in that direction. But, you know, a coach is going to coach. But they lit up Brian Kelly saying that was wrong for him to do that. And they said, well, he was a college player versus a pro player. Well, this is a rookie. You know, and it is the pros, but you don't see, you know, he didn't have to light the guy up like that, you know. Quaveda says, Q, I think the only one that can impersonate Rizzy is Rizzy. Rizzy's going to bust a vessel with all that. I know, bro. He got to calm down. Somebody got to get that man a shot of Jack Daniels or something. He got to calm his ass down. That's why I was saying I love the energy and the passion, but he got to be able to calm down. He won't make it through a full season behaving like this. Y'all pay attention to that dude running up and down on the sidelines, gyrating, the eyes bucking, jumping up and down. You know, did y'all see when Carr crash landed on the sideline? He was right there and he was jumping up. His arm was up here. I thought he was trying to guide the man in for a landing. The way his arm was out this way, he was like, yeah, it's too much, man. It's too much going on over there. There's too much shit going on right there, man. Calm down, man. You know, it's almost like if you're in the army or whatever, the armed force or whatever, and you got a general that behaves like this, is you gonna be confident behind him? For real. You know, if your general is doing this, right, the leader of your group or whatever is behaving like this, are you good with that? You got to calm down. I like the energy, man. Don't get me wrong, but it's a balance. You know, damn, bro. You know, we don't need. I don't want to see all that. I don't want to see you fall out and be like, oh, he blew a gasket. You got to haul him away in the ambulance. I don't want to see that, man. Calm down, please, man. I mean, calm down, bro. Please calm down. Yeah, Doc. Yeah. I went on the show last night. I was talking to Low, man. Low and them having emergency coaching meetings and all. So it's a competitive. My dog and I got love for my dog, Low. You know what I'm saying? That's my boy. That's my brother. And he just keep having emergency coaches meetings. You keep having it's emergency coaches meetings every week. I mean, every day now. What's going on? It's just emergency coaching meetings every damn day now. What's going on? Do I have to send somebody over there, man? Do y'all need some help over here? What's going on? And every time I turn around, the goddamn back signal is the goddamn bat signal. The goddamn bat signal is in the air every time I turn around, man. That's all I know. All I know, man. That's all. Every time I turn around, it's the bat signal. The damn bat signal is. I said, oh shit, there we go. Oh, there it is again. Oh man. I hope y'all, that was a good hearty laugh right there, man. All I know is emergency meetings everywhere, bat signals every goddamn way. Oh my goodness. I ain't gonna say nothing more, man. Y'all stop asking me about Big Low, man. Y'all, y'all leave me alone about that, please. Y'all gonna have me fall out up here laughing. Bat signals every damn way, every damn day at the same time. Is bat signals in the air over the city of Atlanta. My goodness, man. Listen, you can't make this up, man. You can't make it up. All right, Giovanni says he's on the energy high. He's at high energy. You ain't lying, brother. Compared to low, yeah, I'll take. You know what? If I had to choose between the two, I'll take a high energy madman over a low energy possum. I'll just be honest with you. That is no comparison, no doubt about it. Yeah, thank you for that, Giovanni. Yes, man. Yeah, it's that it, man. Listen, man. It's terrible, man. But shout out to my brother Low, man. Much love to brother Low. Big ups to my brother. Oh man. All right, what's up in English? She says we didn't look beyond the results. That's right. You didn't look. Yeah. That was another one that he was dropping old Mickey. Yeah, you gotta look beyond the results. You know, he said that, but guess what? We don't, you're right. We don't have to look behind the results, do we, Mickey Loomis? That really chapped his ass. When she did that, and because his big calling card was sticking it to you. Because he listens to all of that. So he was so petty. Remember that one of the press conference that he did, or the interviews he did, he made mention of after they fired Dennis Allen. The first interview he did was he mentioned a reporter saying about parking spaces in that up there in that facility. Let me tell y'all something. If y'all ever been up there to the Saints facility, is small up in there. Very small. It's small in there. You got they just finished the cafeteria. They got the office area. It's a two-story building or whatever the case is. And they got these buildings, you know, they got the indoor facility where they practice indoors. There's a weight room attached to it. There's a cafeteria there. And then that's the Saints in the front. And then the Pelicans stuff is in the back. And when you go in the gate there's cars parked everywhere because there are at least a couple of 100 people that work up in there. That's in that small ass space. And you got a parking area between the two buildings. Then you go around the Pelicans building. They got to the rear. There's rear parking in the rear. And it's two parking lots that's just packed with cars. You know, packed with cars. It's small up in there. It's small up in there. It's very small up in there. And he was talking about parking spaces, and I'm saying that like, well, that's not it. They're talking about parking spaces. Give me a break. So, but you would read. My point is that the reporter said something that they didn't make that up. The reporters, our reporters, report on what the players are telling them. But for him to say that the reporters didn't know what they was talking about, like, oh, you know, they're gonna give me a break. All he had to do was go down and talk to his players. He don't talk to none of them guys. He don't talk to none of them. They don't respect no Mickey Loomis. Why should they? He don't even engage. He don't talk to those guys. That's how I told y'all he's not a general manager. General manager know the temperature of his team. A general manager, a really good one, won't let his team go into a 7-game tailspin and don't do nothing about it and try to defend the reason why this team is failing. A real general manager wouldn't do that. He wouldn't do that. That guy told y'all, that guy for years, that guy is not a real general manager. He's a VP masquerading as a general manager. That's why he gets fleeced by Howie Roseman. You got to keep your hands in your pocket. Oh, hold on now. When you're around Howie, you got to keep your hands in your pocket. No, you have to keep your hands in your pocket because Roseman's not a pickpocket. Roseman is a businessman general manager. He knows what he's doing. And you, sir, are a moron. You don't know what you're doing. So that's how Roseman's picking he's messing over you with them trades. You don't know what you're doing because you're not a real general manager. You're a gopher is what you are. That's the correct term. That's why you're a gopher. That's what happened with Sean Payton. Sean Payton said, hey, go get me this, give me that, go get me this, that, and the third, this, that. And Mickey took the list, went to the stores, and he made the groceries. But Sean Payton made the list. Sean made the list, and Mickey went and shopped and bought the groceries. That's what that was. That's what that was. Because if he was as good as you thought he was, then this stuff with Dennis Allen wouldn't happen. But it makes sense that a gopher would hire a possum, though, wouldn't it? Based on Sean Payton telling him to hire him when he should have hired his own coach. But he don't know nothing else except for that. Because he don't know. He's not a futurist. He wants to keep everything where it's been. That's why they won't latch on to the past. Listen, bro, we ain't latching on. You only got one trophy. What are you talking about? That whole thing was built on one trophy. One Super Bowl over 10 years ago. That was they built on that. And they don't ever have to win one right then. They done made tens of billions of dollars off of just that. Because they wasn't that rich when they won that trophy. They took that trophy and turned that shit into billions. All they had to do is sell you on the fact that we're competing and we're trying to get to the playoffs. And they don't even talk about trying. They say trying. We know they don't give you no guarantees. We gonna get to the playoffs. Come hell or high water. Or these damn players that's not trying, we're gonna get them up out of here. Y'all don't belong here because we trying to win Super Bowls. They don't tell you that. They don't talk like that. You know? They thinking if they can get the team to the playoffs, that'll justify the money that he spent, whether you get washed or not. It's the fact that we got there just to say we cut the curve so we can keep making this money. We ain't doing that no more. No, you will compete for championships for real. You won't sit around here and play around with the verbiage. You're gonna actually compete. We want you to actually compete and do some shit and not sit up here and live off that trophy over 10 years ago. Let's talk talking. Let's talk this real shit here, man. Let's talk real here. Enough of this, man. Enough of this. Enough is enough. Same thing with the Pelicans sitting up over there. They want a brand new stadium. Well, guess what? Stadiums ain't $500 million anymore. Stadiums like the Smoothie King Center, I think it was $250,000 to $500 million to build, something like that. When Edwards put it together, because he was trying to steal Minnesota, he was trying to steal the Timberwolves away. They come here and play, and they said, "Well, we'll let you play we'll renovate the Lakefront Arena so y'all could play there at first, and then we'll build your building." This before the Smoothie King Center happened, but when Edwards put the funds together to build the building, it was a basic arena, but it was just good enough to attract an NBA team. They tried to steal the Timberwolves. Timberwolves says, "No, you're not going to take our team," because they was trying to get an arena built for them up there. Then they went to the Grizzlies and tried to steal the Grizzlies away because the Grizzlies were moving from Vancouver, and it was between Memphis and New Orleans it came down to, and they chose to go to Memphis. And then when they lost out on that, Shin, who was the owner of Charlotte, seen what was going on between Vancouver, Memphis, and New Orleans, and says, "Hey, New Orleans, y'all got an arena. Do you want me to come?" Then he'd say, "Yeah, that's how you got the Hornets." Because the city of Charlotte hated that guy. The council hated that guy. They didn't want him. They was trying to get a stadium from them, and they said no. So when he said leave, the NBA said, "That's all right. Listen, we're gonna grant you a team again. Just be cool." And they gave him the Bobcats. Then they became what they became now. After the Pelicans the Hornets got rid of the title, it went back to the city of Charlotte. They were able to keep all that stuff, and we got with the Pelicans, which is they did a naming contest and they asked people what you want to name the team, and it was a fake naming ceremony because the team was then named the name of the minor league baseball team that Tom Benson used to watch when he was a child with his people, with his parents and all that. They were called the New Orleans Pelicans, and Tom Benson bought that team's history and all that. And then coincidentally, right? Just a big coincidence that became what your NBA team was. What kind of coincidence is that, right? That's how they got the Pelicans name. Now he had an opportunity to get the Jazz. They was trying to sell him the name back for $5 million. They were going to give him the Jazz back. He said, "That's too much money. Well, I could just keep the Pelicans for free." So they were going to give him the name. They were going to sell him the name and everything for $5 million. He said no. I know about all this, man, because that's what I do. But anyway, the whole thing is this the same organization doing the same lousy stuff. Changes need to happen on everywhere around that because it's ran incorrupt and it's incorrect. It's ran incorrect. There's too many business people at the top and not enough sports people at the top is what I'm saying. That knows enough about each thing. And there's not enough accountability. I would caution them to use more of a committee approach when making decisions as far as the Saints are concerned, and not just have one stubborn bastard up there trying to shoehorn everything toward his direction. You get what I'm saying? Same stuff with the Pelicans. Got one dude that don't know what he's doing, running a team into the ground. No accountability, no timeline on what you can do. All right, just take as long as you want. You've been here for 6 years and you know, 3 coaches in 6 years. Yeah, don't worry about it. You can't keep your players healthy. Don't worry. We just sell them as injuries. Man, get out of here, man. All this has to change. This is not how it's supposed to go. All this needs to change. And you are going to be the instrument of change. They rarely want to change because they're making tens of billions of dollars. Why would they change? When they can sell you hopium and tell you, "Hey man, next year is going to be the year. You watch and see." If they can sell you hopium, they ain't going to change nothing. They only change to suit your needs, which lets you know that you're the power dynamic. You're the steering wheel that drive everything. So they're going to make moves to impress you to get you to bring your money back in full. Well, let's give them some ideas. And that's what we're doing. We're going to give them some ideas. So that's what it is. But anyway, man, let me get ready to get out of here, man. Picking that low, having emergency coaching meetings every damn night. Oh, man. Bat symbol in the sky over the city of Atlanta. Batman can't save y'all ass, man. He got his own damn problems, man. He trying to put the Joker in jail. The Joker keep breaking out of jail. I don't know how that do. How you keep putting these damn people in jail and they keep breaking out? What's going on? You're the bat signal of Atlanta. Let me tell you something, man. They ain't coming to help y'all ass, man. That man got enough problems trying to keep the Riddler and the Joker and Two-Face. Two-Face a whole gangster out here. You got to put these guys in prison because they keep breaking out all the time. He ain't got no time to help y'all out over there. Hell, he ain't got time for all that, man. You know what I'm saying? Shit. All right. Anyway, man, listen, man, I'm gonna get ready to get out here. I appreciate all y'all, man. Y'all do me a service. Hit the like button. If y'all enjoy the stream, hit the subscribe button. Feel free to share the show on your social media feed as well. And also feel free to kind of check out our supporters of the platform, Mint Mobile, Teach, Henley, and Bet Online. There's deals there. You can feel free to check out Mint Mobile. They got a good sale going on right now in the month of December on cell phone service. I'm telling y'all, man. Check out your budget, do your budget, and check out that cell phone cost. Because like me, Man, I got 3 people on my phone. I got me and my boys. Phone service, man. Let me tell you, they give some really good deals there. The service is really good in terms of coverage, and they got some really good prices going on right now. So y'all guys want to save some money on them cell phones, fam. Check out that Mint Mobile. That's why they're a sponsor of the show. 'Cause I'm trying to find some kind of way to help the family members. Teach Henley, you can get like 20 to 40% off his skincare products for the brothers. I mean, I've been using it, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of rough, man. So, but man, it really kind of, it really helped y'all right there, man. Got the sisters, going to be choosing on you, brother. So get ready, because the sisters going to be choosing. That's all I got to say about it. You know what I'm saying? And then, of course, Bet Online, man. Bet Online, man. If you can't make money with the Saints, make money on the Saints, because they do it to you. That's my saying. That's how I go. But anything, let me get 2 more, then we're going to get the hell up out of here, man. Giovanni says, Q, can you clarify the whole parking situation? Can players not park there? Yeah, they can park there. What they were saying about the parking situation. Number one, like I said all that stuff about how tight it is up in there. If you have to actually go there and drive around there and see how tight it is up in there. It's very tight up in there, because you got a bunch of people. It's not just the players and the trainers and all these people. It's a whole staff of people. They got marketers, people. They got marketers and social media people and graphic design people. There's a bunch of people that work there, that work down there outside of Mickey and Gail and all these people. There's a lot of people work down there. So it's a bunch of these people. It's the athletes from not only just the Saints, but the Pelicans are in there. And it's just a tight area. So, you can go in there and see there's a parking issues. Hell yeah, it is. Hell yeah, it is. Because the area where the execs park is separate from where everybody else park. If you go to the facility and you face the gate, you're looking at the little sign, the Saints on there. You see these Mercedes Benz parked out front. That's a lot of time that be the ups be parked right there in the front. Then you go around the side, you see the workers there and some of the people, some of the Saints guys parked there. Then you go behind the building there. You got for the Pelicans, you see that. Now I seen Jose Alvarado sitting in his car. He was sitting in his car, chilling. No, he was talking to some dude running his mouth, man. He was backing up they had a guy with some type of van or something, like this big truck moving around. And they was doing some work on them. The cafeteria wasn't done yet. This was before the cafeteria was done. It was finishing up doing landscaping work in there and doing all that shit up in there. And the guy was trying to get past, and whoever this dude was he was talking to Jose Alvarado in his car. The dude had to move Jose ass out the way so he can get out of there. That's how tight that's how tight it is in there. So, like I said, yeah, I can see it would be a parking issue for some players because it's tight in there. That's a lot of people in that tight space. And you ain't talking about just Saints people. There's Pelicans people in there too. They share that area and it is compact. So what the reporters were saying about parking spaces, they were talking about the issues that the reporters didn't make that up out their imaginations. They're reporting on what the players are telling them. We don't have irresponsible Saints reporters. Our Saints insiders and our beat writers, Saints News Network, Saints Wire, Nick and Mike Triplet, and it's a lot of others. If I miss you, I'm sorry. Charge it to my head, not my heart. But we have the best Saints reporters. This is the best that I've seen. NOLA.com with Brother Rob and all these guys. They're terrific. They're awesome. But the thing is, when they get told stuff by some of these players, they're going to write what they are told. They're not making up any stories. They're not making up anything. And I believe them before I believe that Loomis. I believe them, Cat Terrell, all of them. They awesome. But I will believe them over that Mickey Loomis. Give me a break. That's how he responded to the parking situation. But that wasn't my initial point. My initial point was that you will read all of what they say and pick that out, but you wouldn't mention all of the other stuff that they were saying that the boys down there was saying. You see what I'm getting at? He reading all of that, and he chose to pick that out to comment on as opposed to the rest of the stuff. He didn't have a reply for how the team was feeling, what was going on with the head coach and the players' thought on the head coach. He didn't mention none of that. He wants to talk about parking. That just goes to show you to the phoniness of Mickey Loomis. He's phony. He had the situation we called him like when what was it last year when we played the Detroit Lions, and then the Detroit Lions, the Saints family members were selling their tickets to the Lions people because of how poorish the Saints were looking, and what Mickey Loomis said when he got up there. When they asked him about it, you know what he says? Oh, well, they just selling the ticket because they need the money. Oh, that's what it is. You know, I understand, you know, people, it's tough out here, and they're selling it because they need their money. Oh, so it ain't got nothing to do with the fact that the Saints suck, that they stink, and people losing faith in the team, huh? You see? He just pulled that out of his ass from left field somewhere. So, I mean, it's just, he'll create narratives. He won't cover the truth. He reads everything you write. He's the most pettiest, thin-skinned person in the world is Mickey Loomis. And he's sitting up there as somebody, general manager and VP. He don't talk to those players, family. I've been telling y'all that. The only time he chose to talk to them people is last year when he went up in there to try to berate them people because they did the play. I remember James Hurst said that he thought that they were going to fire Dennis Allen after that Atlanta game. But he went in there and backed Dennis Allen up, and Dennis Allen threw all of them under the bus, threw the whole team under the bus. I had nothing to do with it. I apologized to him. He did that. And man, I was like, man, he said, Hurst said, and I played it on the show. He said that was when they lost the locker room. And I told, we knew that at the time. We said that, but what did they say? He's a liar. He came out and said, there's no fractures in the locker room. Put one in the chat if you heard him say that. Him and Dennis Allen came out there and said, there's no fractures in the locker room. Okay, then why the hell is he fired now? The fracture's been there, man. The players been complaining about it, been there. So, I mean, it's just, he'll lie to keep a narrative. He don't believe in no truth. That dude run from the truth. He's thin-skinned. He's thin as a dog. His skin is thin. He can't handle critique. He can't handle somebody telling the truth about his record. He can't handle it. He would not come on. I wouldn't invite Mickey Loomis to get up here and talk to me about this. He will never do that. He will never do that. He can't even stand questions from Bobby Hebert. And Bobby Hebert is giving questions that people are asking him. The diehards are giving Bobby Hebert questions. He was asking Mickey Loomis. And I told y'all, when the last time you heard Bobby Hebert interview Mickey Loomis, it was weeks ago. He don't do it anymore. He stopped communicating with Bobby Hebert doing interviews. He only does it with Mike Hoss. And Mike Hoss is paid for by the Saints. He's a Saint reporter. He's paid for by the Saints. So he's not going to ask tough questions of Mickey Loomis because he's paid, gets his money from the same source. So you can't really trust a lot of them to go and ask the serious questions or give you what you want to know because they paid for. It's kind of a conflict of interest, isn't it? How are you supposed to be a sports reporter and you're supposed to be reporting on a team that's paying your salary? Isn't that a bit of a conflict of interest? I mean, isn't that a conflict? Am I tripping or isn't that a conflict of interest? How are you reporting on the team that you're getting paid for? How that work? You see what I'm saying? But he's using him and he stopped using Bobby Hebert. Did you catch that? I've been pinpointed that, man. That guy is thin-skinned, man. He can't handle critique. And we're critiquing with facts and stats, stuff that he's doing. He don't like it. So when you pinpoint his losing and what's been going on over the 4 years, he can't take it. That's why I took Mickey Loomis and turned him into a cartoon character. Oh, hold on now. Well, hold on now. Hold on. I heard what you said that. Yeah, I'm like, God damn it. Yeah. You know, I did that. Most of the people didn't even know who the family members in Panthers Nation and the Falcons, and they didn't even know who that guy is. They don't pay attention. Like we don't know who their GM is. We don't care who your GM is. We know who Arthur Blank is because we make fun of them. But at the same time, all these GMs, we don't care we don't know who these people are. We don't care, you know, but they know who he is. They know who he is. So like I said, man, that's what the whole thing about the report. I trust my reporters over him anytime because he's been caught lying. He's been caught lying about stuff to protect Dennis Allen. You know, Dennis Allen's supposed to be fired. So, you know, his judgment is impaired. He's out of his mind. He doesn't need to be a general manager no more is my point. Williams says one more thing. The NFL really love the Rams. That was some horrific referee calls against the Bills on yesterday. Yeah, they get down and dirty, man. Like, yes, I don't think the Saints were supposed to win the game. I said that at the end of the game yesterday. I was like, I don't think the NFL wanted the Saints to win that game. All of those terrible calls that was going on, the interception, I kept going back to that because it was weird how the Saints, and let me just say this for the record, and I'm going to leave this alone. It's very weird, just for the record, the Demario Davis interception, right? He intercepts the ball from the quarterback, right? Goes to the ground. There's not a offensive player rather, around him when he catches the ball. They're guys, the closest guy is 4 yards away. Nobody never comes and touches him down. He makes the interception, gets up, runs to the touchdown, scores a touchdown. The referees called it back and told him he was down. How was he down? Because they picked up the offense from the spot he caught the interception. How was he down and nobody touched him? They just make it up as they go. And I thought Demario Davis was going to talk about that in the press conference. I was waiting for it. After Rizzy got off of there and Brian Brissy got off there, y'all seen the press conference when Demario Davis walked up to the podium and they cut it off and they started talking. Y'all put one in the chat if y'all remember that. And then when the interview comes out, Demario Davis got a 3-minute interview that obviously was chopped and screwed. Everybody else had like a 6-minute interview, something like that. But Demario Davis had like a 3-minute interview. When do you know Demario Davis is doing a 3-minute interview? I'm pretty sure somebody had asked him about that interception, but they didn't want that to be talked about. That's the glitch in the matrix that you got to call out when you see it, you pick at it. You don't let them make it on it. You have to shine light and expose that kind of stuff because that's not supposed to happen. The guy never was touched. This is not college. You get the interception. If he wasn't touched down by the player, the opposing player that was there, and he wasn't, there was nobody around him. He gets up, runs for a touchdown. That's supposed to be a touchdown. They said they called it back and said he was down. They just make it up as they go. That is outright corruption. They violated their rules. And Rizzy, the guy on the screen, didn't bat an eye. You think he, with all that passion, did you think he blew the referee up and threw his hat on the ground and started bitching and pointing like he did Matt Hayball? He was as quiet as a church mouse. He didn't do none of that shit to that referee. Now, how that work? Why, you see what I'm saying? How does that work? I would have been more upset about them taking a touchdown off the board, off the interception, than I would be worrying about blowing up Matt Hayball because he made a little mistake right here or there. I'm going to say that and leave it alone. That's my little bit on it right there. But that's what I'm saying. I don't think they were supposed to win that game. They was doing everything. Matter of fact, there was a touchdown the Rams got that was on the goal line. The guy never even made it in the touchdown. Put one in the chat if y'all seen that. They came out and gave him the touchdown. The guy never broke the plane. It was very clear. He never broke the plane. Wasn't close. And they gave him the touchdown. I was like, what? Where they do that at? They was doing it all. They was doing it all. And I was like, I don't think we were supposed to win this game. It's just the Giants was so incompetent that they just didn't take advantage of the cheating referees. But that is what happens when you don't handle your business as an offense and you don't take the game away from the refs. If you leave it too close, they're going to try to screw you. That's how I go. That's the history of what we have to deal with the NFL official. If the game is close, they play within that gray area. So to alleviate and take the corruption angle of the referees out of it, because the game is manipulated through the referee, you can't criticize them. It's the same thing in the NBA. When people started recognizing point shaving, that was like a rumor that Magic Johnson got caught in the point shaving. That's why he had it's a bunch of rumor stuff, but a lot of players was getting caught up. I know Hot Rod Williams got caught up on some of that stuff, but they used to do that back in the day. A lot of times now they just use the referee angle because you can't criticize the referee. A lot of the manipulation of the games happen through the referees. And you thinking the fouls and the calls are because the referees are incompetent. It's not that. It's not that. It's not incompetency. It's not them being incompetent. It's about corruption. Don't misconstrue incompetence for corruption because they use that. That's like when old boy got his head took off in Dallas, Texas all them years ago. They started talking about how incompetent whatchamacallit was. I'm like, that ain't no incompetence, man. You know, it's just it's like you got to see the glitch in the matrix, man. You got to see how shit go, man. You just got to use your common sense, man. When funny shit starts smelling funny and sounding funny, then you know that's a glitch. That don't make any sense. Like we talked about the movie when the show. Remember I talked about the movie that I seen early when the show started? Remember that? You know, it's just what it is. All right. So anyway, yeah, he says Diddy gave up like he was supposed to stay down, like that INT sealed the game. Yeah, he stayed down, but he got up. They never blew the whistle though, but because you couldn't blow the whistle. You can't blow the whistle because he was still available. So he gets up, he walks. Right? He was doing it, then he started running. The ref, now go back and watch the play. The referee at the end zone put his hands up like that was a touchdown. The referee, the main ref, called it back. See, I played the tape. We'll play it on tomorrow. We'll go over that play tomorrow. Because the referee at the other end ruled it as a touchdown. At the end, he threw his hands up like it was a touchdown. I was like, that's a touchdown. And that just, it was, they don't explain that, like the whole, it was weird. Because even when he got, like I said, he got up to the podium on the press conference, because DeMario was the third guy to speak. It was Rizzi, it was Brian Bresee, and then DeMario Davis walked up there. And right when he walked up there, they cut it off and started talking. They cut it off and started talking. That's what they did. Let me see if I can pull that up, man. Y'all think it's a game, man? Let me do this, and I'm going to get my ass on up out of here. But let me show it to y'all, because it happened on the press conference. I'm like, yeah, I was waiting for DeMario Davis because I wanted to know what DeMario Davis was saying about that interception. But we never heard it. We never heard what he had to say, because right when he got to the podium, he walked right. You can see him coming up. Hold on, let me show y'all how it played. Because right when your boy Brian Bresee left, DeMario was walking up. Here it is right here. Brian Bresee was talking about the game, and he got ready to leave. He leaves the stage. Watch DeMario comes up, and they just cut it off. Watch DeMario walk up there. Look, and then they go boop. I said, where they do that at? Where they do? I catch all that, man. I catch all that. I was like, because I was waiting for DeMario to hear what he said about that pick, and look what happened. DeMario gone. Y'all think it's a game, huh? Y'all think it's a game. Y'all think it's a game. I'll be telling y'all this shit, man. I'll be telling y'all the truth, man. I'll be noticing them little glitches in the matrix. I'll be trying to tell y'all, man. I'll be like, man. And then what they did was DeMario Davis was coming to give the game. And then what they did was they released the interview separately. But DeMario's interview was obviously edited because we didn't hear anything about the pick, because he had an interception. You would talk about that because that's the play. That's the main play. He didn't even talk with the edited interview. There was no talk about that interception. I was like, that's interesting. Did y'all listen to the DeMario Davis interview he did today? It was 3 minutes and he didn't even talk about the picks. The pick, who don't talk about the pick when a linebacker gets an interception? Because he dropped two of them in this game, right? Remember, DeMario had two of them he was trying to get. He dropped two of them. He got one. Then he returns it for an interception, and nobody, that doesn't come up in his interview at all. Come on, man. Come on, man. L-Dub says, wow. Yeah, I catch all that. Yeah, we got that. I told y'all, man, it's some funny business, man. We ain't out of the woods with a lot of this stuff, man. But we just gotta, when we see it, we just gotta call it out, man. But anyway, listen, fam, I'm gonna get ready to get on out on that. I appreciate all y'all for chiming on this episode of the show. Like I said, please do me a service and check out our sponsors, man. Show them some love. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Feel free to share the show on your social media feed as well. We keep it 150 over here at the Sports Coma, representing the mighty Who Dat Nation, man. Listen, like I said, this is going to be a very interesting week, man. Listen, a lot of stuff we paying attention to. Tanu Passanio might be coming back. Chris Olave, word on him. Remember, this is the week we're supposed to hear about Chris Olave. A better performance from our 5 starting offensive linemen. Kendre Miller having a second game with him and Elvin Kamara. Jamal Williams getting involved. Like I said, it's a lot of stuff to be happy about, despite the injury to Derek Carr, Spencer Rattler's there. That's excitement of having Spencer there to kind of light it up for your young quarterback in there doing this thing with a running attack. Juwan Johnson been playing a lot better. The defense is playing better. Our special teams is going to clean it up. So, it's a lot to be kind of positive about heading in a direction. We ain't exactly falling off the cliff like the Giants is. We in this thing somewhat. I'm not saying we're going to make no P word. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to say the P word, but at the end of the day, one game by one game approach is how I'm living it. You know what I'm saying? We 5-8. They got to get to 6-8. Bottom line, you got to stop Jaden Daniels. You got to run the football. You got to control the clock and some other stuff we're going to go over later on in the week. I'm going to be back on our Patreon tomorrow to do the film work on the Saints game. We're going to cover all that stuff. We're going to go over the latest news, notes, and items on Patreon. So if you want to be a part of that to help the community, please feel free to go to our patreon.com/the Pro Media Network, or simply go to the link tree. The link is in the description section below, along with our sponsors and merch and the donation links and all that stuff. The website, all that is in the description section below. And with that being said, I'm going to get out on that. I'm going to see y'all on Tuesday for my Patreon and YouTube membership family. I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all keep y'all heads up. I'm going to holler at y'all on the flip side. Much love. Who that to you?
Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Fucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Fucking like this and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Say they gon' beat them Saints. Who that? Who that? Who that say they gon' beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gon' beat them Saints? Who that?
Bet Online is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, Bet Online provides you with all the action and the ability to watch the games as they happen. With the largest selection of odds on everything from football, NBA, and college basketball, NHL to UFC and MMA. Head to Bet Online today to get in on all the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. Bet Online, the game starts here.
TheWhoDatDaily.com.
That's right, thewhothatdaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, and even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who Dat and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, whothatdaily.com is your site. Thewhothatdaily.com for the sport Who Dat in all of us. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. So check out the Pro Shop and Who Dat too.